Hi, everyone. Appreciate you spending your Tuesday evening with us. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali is our host and producer, and Tom Young is our technical director. Toronto Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Elmwood and Owen Sound. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's /1 rust protection. With urgency to get back on the right track, the dominant right-hander Jose Berrios takes his major league leading 1.44 ERA to the hump against Philadelphia lefty Christopher Sanchez. The offense has ticked up the last few games for the Blue Jays. Now they try to marry that with strong pitching against a Phillies lineup that is without a few big names. Game 1 of this series is next. You're listening to Blue Jays baseball streaming on the Sportsnet app, sportsnet.ca, and across the Sportsnet radio network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better. So they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
Embrace the power.
That is bold.
And speed of the NTT IndyCar Series on SiriusXM.
Joseph Newgarden wins the Indy 500.
The season rolls on Saturday afternoon at 3 Eastern with the Sancio Grand Prix.
That was sweet.
Nice job, guys.
From the green to the checkers.
Flies under the twin checkers.
Hear every thrilling lap live on IndyCar Nation Channel 218, NBC Sports Audio Channel 85.
Alex Palou.
Thank you so much.
And on the all-new SiriusXM app. Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Blue Jays and Phillies getting set for Game 1 at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. The Blue Jays looking to get back on track. Chris, it's been a tough last couple series for Toronto, especially on the pitching side, but now they get to send out, as sure as any, the right-hander Jose Berrios to the mound.
Well, it feels weird to say, especially on the pitching side, because the pitching and the defense, and well, the defense has been fine, but the pitching, especially the starting pitching and then the bullpen, has been struggling mightily lately. But to see Jose Berrios warming up right now, getting loose for this ball game, kind of is a reassuring thing, because the Blue Jays almost need, and that's a lot of pressure on Jose Berrios tonight, but they need him to perform. He's 0-2 in his last 2 starts, but he's given up only 4 earned runs in 12 innings. That shows you that the offense hasn't really been doing its job when Jose Berrios on the mound, but he's still a guy that is just outperforming almost everybody. And like you said, he's major league leading 1.44 ERA. This is a tough lineup. This is a tough team. This is a tough stadium to pitch in. But if one guy can do it, it's Jose Berrios.
Berrios going 7 innings in his last start. He'll try to provide some length for the Blue Jays today. Before we get to the game, though, let's go to baseball control and talk with our host for the first time today. Here's Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. Welcome back, everyone, inside Baseball Control, our downtown Toronto studios.
Hope you were all doing well. Before we check out the standings update, courtesy of Bet365, let's hear a little bit from Blair and Barker. One of the hottest topics around the Jays these days, the batting order. Does it need a change? Here's Sportsnet's own Joe Siddall chatting with Blair and Barker about what could change maybe in the coming days.
Do you sense that we're on the verge of seeing the Jays do something dramatic with this lineup?
I hope we're on the verge of seeing something dramatic like that. I think it's that time. And whether they do it or not, I'm not so sure, guys. I'll believe it when I see it. I think moving George out of the leadoff spot is a fairly drastic one, but I think it's time. There are too many other guys swinging the bats. I think dropping Bo the way they did it's fine. They're trying something, but I am fairly certain Bo Bichette's going to be just fine. I'm sure it's a timing, mechanical thing that he's got going. He is going to be fine. His track record is just too good. And when he locks it in here real soon, I'm fairly certain of that happening, it's not going to be because he got dropped in the order. It's because he's a good hitter that had a bad month. Whereas George, we're seeing a little bit of a carryover from last year, and it's not good. And that's your leadoff hitter. That's your guy at the top. When the lineup turns over in the 8th inning or whatever the case may be. So I think it's time. We've seen Jano swinging the bat well. We've seen Schneider doing it, Varsho. The thing you got to be careful of is saying that you move up a Schneider, you move up a Varsho, a Jansen, and then all of a sudden those guys are maybe in spots that they're not necessarily supposed to be in, and maybe they get exploited a little bit more at the top of the order. But I think it's time to try something. And when you mention Schneider's name, that's the first one that kind of comes to my head to give it a shot.
Yeah, he's hitting .310, a .998 OPS versus relievers. He's hitting .300, slugging .525 off the fastball. He's got a .905 OPS versus lefties. They are facing a lefty, Joe.
Good day for
yeah, absolutely. Is there something you're seeing from him differently? I know he's scooted a little closer to the plate, trying to take away the spin on some breaking balls. Is there something else you're seeing that you like from him?
Seeing them and talking to him. Well, I love to talk to hitters because it's so hard to always see things with the naked eye unless you're really going to dive into video. And I think with Davis, number one, there's a little bit of a comfort level, right? He's up here now and maybe feeling like he belongs because he is doing very well. But he, like a lot of guys, and Kevin, I'm sure you had the same quotes when you played, but he stays on the fastball. And I don't know how many more times I can say that to the audience. I mean, good hitters mash fastballs, and I think I heard a pretty high number when you said he's slugging fastballs. I think what's important, though, is being on time for the fastball, but that doesn't mean, like, a lot of people are preaching, like, try to pull the ball and get it in the air more and all these things for some of these struggling hitters. But, I mean, those are scary words for hitters because you just start saying pull the ball in the air, and you can really take yourself out of your hitting mechanics and pull off the ball with your front side. You got all kinds of things going on. I think it's more about being on time for the fastball and thinking middle of the field. And if you're on time for the fastball thinking middle of the field, you're going to crush some balls in the air to left, center, and left like David Schneider does. But you also are putting yourself in a position to adjust to the off speed. And I think he's done a really good job at that, staying on it and staying on it long enough to get some hits on the breaking pitches as well.
That is a great Joe Siddall on with Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker. Grab the whole conversation wherever you grab your favorite podcast. Let's check the Bet365 standings update at Bet365. You can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and you can even make a bet while the game is still being played. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. Let's check out the AL East. Entering play today, the Orioles 23-11. The Yankees are 23-13. The Red Sox are 19-16. The Rays, they are sitting at 500. They are 18-18. And the Blue Jays are unfortunately currently bringing up the rear of the division. They are 16-19. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk this evening. Blair and Barker have you covered. They will take your calls. Blair will throw out the numbers to call after the final out. You guys know the drill. All right, we're just about ready to go. If maybe the Philly fanatic lets Vladdy and company on the field. Looks like they're having some fun before first pitch. Let's get you over to some action as George Springer gets ready to get to the batter's box. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue with the call of the game.
Thank you very much, Joe. Let's take a look at the lineup today for John Schneider's team with George Springer leading off and playing right field. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the first baseman, hits second. The third baseman is Justin Turner today. He'll bat third. Hitting cleanup, the shortstop, Bo Bichette. Davis Schneider behind him in left field. Danny Jansen DHs today and bats sixth. Alejandro Kirk, the catcher, hits seventh, with Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, the second baseman, hitting eighth. Kevin Kiermaier bats ninth and plays center field with the right-hander Jose Berrios starting for the Blue Jays Jays. On the other side, the Phillies will lead off DH Kyle Schwarber. Whit Merrifield, the left fielder, bats second. Bryce Harper, the first baseman, hits third. Nick Castellanos behind him in right field. Brandon Marsh is the center fielder and number 5 hitter in the lineup. Bryson Stott plays second, hits 6th. The shortstop today, Edmundo Sosa, bats 7th. Cody Clements is the third baseman. He'll hit 8th. And Garrett Stubbs, the catcher, bats 9th. On the mound, just strided out onto the field to take his warm-up pitches. The 6'1" left-hander from the Dominican Republic, Christopher Sanchez, who sports a 1-3 record and a 3.68 ERA this season. He has a mid-90s fastball, and he's been pretty solid so far for the Phillies.
Well, he's another tough lefty. The Blue Jays have faced a lot of tough lefties lately, and he's kind of a string bean. I like watching him throw just because he's such a string bean. 6'1", 180 pounds, but he brings it. He brings some good velocity, some good stuff. The Blue Jays are going to have their hands full today with Christopher Sanchez.
He's got a baggy jersey kind of falling out of his pants. You can see his belt's pretty tight, and the pants and jersey get a lot wider around that, kind of hanging off of his thin frame. Left-hander getting loose right now. He's been good. The Phillies have struggled behind him, though. Sanchez will look for just the second team win when he's been on the mound so far this season. And you mentioned him being a tough lefty. That's why the Blue Jays today sport 8 right-handed hitters. Just Kevin Kiermaier bats from the left side in the starting lineup. They do have left-handed hitters Dalton Varsho, Kevin Biggio, and Daniel Vogelbach on the bench. Sanchez finishing his warm-up pitches right now as Jose Berrios and the Blue Jays starters, along with Alejandro Kirk, walk across left field, actually walk in front of former teammate Whit Merrifield, and they'll hustle off the field now as George Springer is stepping into the batter's box. Home plate umpire Andy Fletcher is waiting beside the plate. He's joined today at first by Mike Michlinski, Jansen Visconti umpires second, Paul Clemens at third. Time called in by Andy Fletcher. Springer in the box. The lefty Sanchez winds and fires. And the first pitch is a fastball for strike one. Time of the pitch, 6:42. Bit of an overcast day in Philadelphia. The 0-1. Went with the breaking ball, and he gets strike 2. That was actually the changeup, the off-speed pitch on the outside edge. Springer batting .205, awaits a no-ball, 2-strike pitch. Here it comes from Sanchez. And it's fouled off.
And of course, Citizens Bank Park, one of the most beautiful places to watch a baseball game, to play a baseball game. And their fans like to have fun as well.
It's a very nice, they do. It's a very nice 27 degrees right now in Philadelphia. 0-2 again. Springer hits it to the right side, sinking in right field. It's cut off by Castellanos, and that's a leadoff single for George Springer.
And that was a good swing from George Springer, a fastball that was elevated on the outside part of the plate at 95, and Springer just kind of swats it the other way. A good hard line drive that Castellanos cuts off in the gap, but that's a good sign for George Springer using that right side of the field, something he hasn't really done a whole lot this season.
So now a runner on first, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. up, riding an 8-game hit streak. From the stretch, Sanchez delivers and misses low.
And now I wouldn't mind if George Springer actually tries to be that fire starter that he's supposed to be and maybe move to second base, kind of mess with Christopher Sanchez just a little bit, move around out there.
Lefties 1-0, down and in, 2 balls, no strikes. Springer can run. 5 stolen bases already this season.
Well, the biggest thing is he needs to get on base, right? Like he could probably have 10 to 12 to 15 stolen bases by now if he was getting on base like he should be.
The 2-0. Outside ball 3. Sanchez in a little bit of early trouble here. Runner on first, no outs, top of the first. 3-0 count to Guerrero. It's a fastball, a changeup, and a slider for the lefty. His 3-0 is that fastball for strike 1. Sanchez waving his head twice, shaking off pitches, now is ready to go against the .239 hitter Guerrero. The 3-1. Vladdy pounds it to the third base side of the mound into the ground. Picked up by Sanchez. A turn and throw to first. 1 out. George Springer advances into scoring position on the play.
And although that's not Vlad's job to move runners, that's not what he's paid to do, I will take that. I'll take George Springer moving up 90 feet. Vlad kind of hitting a weak ground ball back to the pitcher. But now we're in business. The Blue Jays have a runner in scoring position, less than 2 outs, and that's a big deal.
Their leading RBI guy coming to the plate right now, and Justin Turner, 283 hitter. And Turner's got 16 driven in so far this year. Right-handed hitter crowds the plate, stands up tall and leans back in his stance. A look at Springer. Sanchez delivers and just catches the inside edge with a breaking ball for strike 1.
And I think I misspoke. Christopher Sanchez is 165 pounds, not 180.
Oh, okay. So you gave him a little extra. He would have taken 180.
Well, I was just using the eye test.
Here's 0-1. Off the end of the bat, a cue shot to first, picked up by Harper. He'll step on the bag. Springer advances from second to third. There are 2 outs.
And now Bo Bichette comes to the plate in a big spot. We saw him at the end of that game on Sunday in Washington with his head kind of down, and he seemed a little bit, I don't want to say depressed, because that's not what he was, but he was overthinking, and now he comes to the plate early on in this ball game in a big spot. 2 outs, runner on third base.
The pitch. Bichette fouls it back. It's understandable to see the frustration from Bichette. It's just unfamiliar territory to see the shortstop this deep into the season, even though it's still about a fifth of the year only that's gone by, hitting 195. 0-1. Bichette hits a line drive foul right side, 0-2.
And very quickly he's in a tough spot against a tough left-handed pitcher.
George Springer got an 0-2 single to right field to start this inning, but 2 groundouts have Sanchez 1 pitch away from getting out of it. Springer on third, 2 down. No score, top of the first. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3 over top of the slider. And that does it for the top of the first. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left for the Blue Jays. Jose Berrios comes to the mound in a scoreless game, bottom of the first, when we return. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Bichette powers the ball to left field. Going back, Peralta. It's out of here.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Bottom of the first inning, Blue Jays in Philadelphia. No score. And Jose Berrios is getting his footing on the rubber. Left-handed hitter Kyle Schwarber leads off for the Phillies. First pitch is outside. Ball 1. Schwarber, Whit Merrifield, and Bryce Harper will hit for the Phillies in this bottom of the first. 1-0. Called strike 1.
And no JT Realmuto, no Alec Baum, no Trey Turner.
Turner on the injured list.
I'll take no Trey Turner any way possible.
He's been really good this year. 1-1, fouled back, 1-2. But you still get, it's a tough top four between Schwarber, Merrifield, Harper, Castellanos, and they got some guys like Marsh and Stott hitting behind there. This is a Phillies team that scores almost 5 runs a game. They can do a lot of damage, especially Schwarber. 40-plus homers the last 2 years. 1-2 pitch, high and outside.
And Schwarber already has 9 home runs this year, 22 RBIs. He's never been an average guy, but
no,
he is still a very scary guy in that batter's box.
And he's leaned even way further into the all-or-nothing approach in the last couple years. Was the leader in home runs in the National League 2 years ago. 2-2 is outside with a change. Full count. Schwarber's seen the full array from Jose Berrios. You'll get a 2-seam fastball, a sinker. You'll get a cutter, a lot of slurves, and then a changeup as well. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Doubled up on the change and got Schwarber to chase in the dirt. 1 out.
And that was a great changeup right there. Started at the bottom of that strike zone and then just kind of dipped out of it. Schwarber swings right over it. That was actually a really nasty changeup, almost like a split finger from Jose Berrios.
Great walk-up song, by the way, for Whit Merrifield. Former Blue Jay, batting against the Blue Jays for the first time since signing with Philadelphia this offseason. First pitch fastball for strike 1. No score, 1 out, 1 strike on Merrifield, bottom of the first, and nobody on the base paths. Right-handed hitter chokes up on the bat. Standing far from the plate, the 0-1 is a slurve in there for strike 2. This first inning is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong. Feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. 0-2. Merrifield bounces it to the left side. Picked up by Bichette. Long throw to first, and it's there in time. 2 outs.
I know that Whit Merrifield wasn't with the Blue Jays for very long, but it still seems weird that he's with the Phillies. And I don't know why. Just seeing him in a Phillies uniform just seems odd to me.
Well, in the transition aesthetically from Kansas City to the Blue Jays, there's a lot of similar colors in there. American League guy.
Maybe that's what it is.
This is the first time he's been in the National League. He's wearing all red now rather than all blue. Here's a guy who's gotten very comfortable in red. Bryce Harper, the left-handed hitter and 2-time MVP in the box. 2 outs, nobody on. No score, bottom 1. And the pitch from Berrios. Called strike 1. Slow start to the year by Harper's standards, batting .243 right now. Although he has 8 homers and he's homered in consecutive games. Kirk setting up outside, the 0-1. Off the end of the bat, foul. 0-2.
This is already Bryce Harper's 6th season in Philadelphia.
And it was, what, 7 seasons with Washington?
I don't know, but that makes me feel old. It feels like yesterday he just signed that contract.
He signed in 2019 for 13 years, $330 million. 0-2. Fouled back. Well, he's going to be a Philly for a whole lot longer. That contract runs until 2031.
7 years after this season. He's 31 years old. He'll be 38. I mean, he'll be done.
0-2 grounded foul. Still 0-2. There was some rumbling, some reporting on it that Harper was actually interested in an extension with the Phillies in the offseason. Harper represented by Scott Boras. 0-2. Right. Back foot slider nearly hit Harper. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I could have guessed that he was represented by Scott Boras.
Now, the funny thing in all the reporting, The Athletic did a lot of writing on it before the season. Harper has no opt-out in his deal, so there's very little leverage right now that he has to ask for more years. 1-2 pitch, grounded foul. He's obviously a great player, but they already have him locked in till his age 38 season.
I think the only real thing or reason why Boris would ask for that is he wants to let the Phillies know that, hey, Bryce Harper wants to retire a Philly.
1-2. Check swing. Pitch bounced in the dirt. No appeal. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And if the Phillies are okay with extending him for maybe, I don't know, if you're 39 years old for $5 million a year, I probably would, just because he's a nice guy to have on your roster.
Berrios looking at Harper, deals home. And the fastball's hit to left field, down for a base hit. One hops into the glove of Schneider, and Bryce Harper will stop at first with a 2-out single.
That fastball was supposed to be up and in. You could see Alejandro Kirk with that target up near the hands of Bryce Harper. He was almost standing up, but it kind of leaked over the middle, and Bryce does a good job hitting that baseball the other way. Still a tough pitch, but a good job from Bryce Harper.
Harper fouled off a ton of pitches before finding that one that he liked. It was an 8-pitch battle. So Berrios up to 17 now so far in the first. 2 outs, runner on. The pitch to Nick Castellanos is a heater for strike 1. Castellanos bats right. He's still looking to kick his season into gear. A 197 average right now with 2 home runs. 0-1. Inside. Top button undone for the right-handed hitter Castellanos. Big gold chain peeking through. 1-1 is hit well over the third baseman Turner and down in left field. Harper around second. He's headed to third. Schneider slips in the left field corner and Harper gets the wave. He'll score for Castellanos. It's an RBI double and the Phillies take a 1-0 lead.
Well, Davis Schneider had a beat on that baseball in left field. He's good at cutting that ball off normally, but the ball got stuck underneath the padding in foul territory down that left field line, and he kind of had to scoot over to get it, and that allowed Bryce Harper to make it all the way from first base and score the first run of the ball game.
Second double of the season for Castellanos, now up to 12 RBIs. And the Phillies will do this. They score a ton of runs early in games. Here's Brandon Marsh, a left-handed hitter. First pitch is yanked foul down the right field line, 0-1. In fact, with that run by the Phillies, they've now scored first in 14 of their last 17 games. They're on a 6-game win streak right now, a 10-game home win streak. Runner on second, 2 outs, 0-1 to Marsh. Called strike at the knees. Team with baseball's best record right now, the Phillies. Out in front early, 1-0. The 0-2. Just inside, but Marsh jumping out of the way. That sinker almost broke back over the plate for strike 3.
That was nasty. Started it up and in, and it sunk back over almost the black on the inside part of that plate. That was a very, very good sinker from Jose Berrios as he shakes his head.
Turning a throw to second. They have a shot, but Castellanos dives back in just in front of the tag by Bo Bichette.
I thought they had him there for a second.
It was close. Castellanos with a late reaction. I don't anticipate a challenge, but it was close enough that the Blue Jays are looking at it.
Safe call, second base.
Now they will challenge. Pardon me.
So initially seeing the replay, I don't see a reason to challenge. I think that it's pretty. Never mind. We just saw a slower, better angle, and I think that John Schneider and Gil Kim have a reason to challenge this play.
Bichette and Castellanos talking on second base right now. Bo's tag came down more on the forearm of the right arm of Castellanos rather than the hand. The call on the field is safe, but it did look like from one angle like the tag got in there before the hand of Castellanos hit the bag. You could see some space in between. I lean that he's out, but this is a close one to overturn.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. Runners out. Toronto retains their challenge.
So the Blue Jays with a successful challenge. Pick off Nick Castellanos and end the inning, but it's Castellanos' double that scores Bryce Harper and gives the Phillies a 1-0 lead after 1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
All right, here we go.
Surf's up. Summer is just around the corner. The warm sounds of the Beach Boys will get you there sooner. Good Vibrations, the Beach Boys channel.
We're in Southern California. The beach is a huge deal here. The sunshine, it's athletic.
For a limited time, starting tomorrow, Channel 79 and the all-new Sirius XM app. Good Vibrations.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are on top of the women's college basketball world yet again.
Perfection for South Carolina. 38 games, 38 wins.
We're reacting to the perfect season and talking to the biggest names right here on Channel 374.
Congratulations, Coach Saley. What does this particular title mean to you?
This title is pretty special because it was unexpected.
Keep it locked into Sirius XM SEC Radio as we continue to break it all down and celebrate the Gamecocks' third national title.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM.
Let's go, baby!
We're back on the track Sunday,
2 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Goodyear 400 from Darlington Raceway.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah!
On Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Yeah!
Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the Sirius XM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah!
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
The second inning is presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Called strike one against Davis Schneider to start the second inning. It's 1-0 Phillies. 0-1. Schneider takes outside. Big day for Davis Schneider, a native of Berlin, New Jersey, grew up in Voorhees, New Jersey, in South Jersey. 1-1 from the lefty Sanchez. Is hit out of play, 1-2. And that's about a 20 to 30 minute drive from Citizens Bank Park. South Jersey a little more Philadelphia oriented than New York, like many would think of with New Jersey. And so this is practically a home game with lots of family and friends in the crowd for Schneider. He grounds a 1-2 pitch softly to third, fielded chest high by Cody Clemens, who throws over to first in time. 1 out.
I wonder how many tickets he had to pay for.
I did get to talk to him a couple days ago, and I guess right before they went on the road. And he told me it's been a bit of an ordeal getting everything together. He was way out in front of it, so that was probably helpful. But this is the first time that he gets to play in front of a lot of friends and family being here in Philadelphia. Danny Jansen now up. Today's DH, first pitch. Downstairs, ball 1.
I wonder how many friends from elementary school came out of the woodwork. Hey, man, what's going on?
So, 1-0. Jansen lines the ball to short, caught ankle high by Sosa. 2 outs on hard contact there by Jansen.
And Danny Jansen hit that ball on the screws. Tough break right there, right at Sosa. But Danny Jansen's hitting well this year, 297, 3 homers already.
That's what's gotten him into the lineup today as the DH, even on a day he's not catching. Here is the catcher now, Alejandro Kirk. First pitch strike. 2 outs and the base is empty. 1-0 Phillies on the Nick Castellanos double. Top of the second inning with nobody aboard. 0-1. Down low. Kirk lays off the changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kirk hitting an even 200 so far this year. 2 doubles and a homer. And he'll ask for time now and kick some dirt away. Fix his footing and get ready to go. Stands off the plate slightly. Closed stance. 1-1. Breaking ball gets in there for strike 2. Only 23 pitches so far for Sanchez, who's retired 5 Blue Jays in a row. His 1-2. Check swing on a pitch in the dirt. Appeal down to first. No swing, says Mike Machlinski. The Phillies were ready to trot back to the dugout there, but Kirk holds up on a back foot slider.
Well, Mike, I don't know about that call.
It was close. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Chased after a changeup away. 2 strikeouts on the day now for Sanchez and 2 scoreless innings. Blue Jays go down 1-2-3 and middle of the second trail 1-0. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Double's gone. 2-run shot, Kevin Kiermaier.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the second inning at Citizens Bank Park, and the Blue Jays trailing the Phillies 1-0. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Jose Berrios just patting the rosin bag a little bit on his jersey and now down his right pant leg. And a little bit on the back is getting set for his second inning of work. He'll face Brandon Marsh and Bryson Stott, a pair of left-handed hitters, before Edmundo Sosa, the right-handed hitting shortstop, comes up. And now home plate umpire and crew chief Andy Fletcher is talking with Jose Berrios, potentially about some of the stuff that he was doing on the mound right before the inning started.
Well, he was using that rosin bag probably questionably. He was patting it down on the side of his leg, and he was just doing some odd things with the rosin bag. So I think that's why he came out to say, hey, what's going on out here?
Berrios' first pitch to Marsh this inning is foul tipped into the glove. Strike 1. Marsh stood up to end the first with a 1-2 count when Castellanos got picked off. Can sweat or something like that help you get a little bit more tack on a ball? Here's the 0-1, and it's popped up foul out of play. 0-2.
Oh, definitely. You'll see guys go underneath their brim, on the back of their neck, anything to get some tack, and then you put the rosin bag on it, and it kind of makes it not sticky, but at least not slick like just your hand generally would be.
0-2. Just high. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And it is 27 degrees in Philadelphia, like you mentioned earlier.
Berrios' jersey has changed colors from the bottom of the first to the bottom of the second inning. A little bit more dark gray now. The right-hander releases a 1-2. Swing and a miss. Chase the slurve in the dirt, and Marsh strikes out. Berrios' second K of the day. 1 out.
And that slurve from Berrios bounced almost at the back foot of Brandon Marsh, and you can see the frustration on his face after he swings at that pitch. It's a tough pitch to swing at. Probably shouldn't have swung at it. Started out of the zone, out of the hand of Jose Berrios, but Good pitch nonetheless.
Here's Bryson Stott. First pitch slurve hits the zone. Strike one. Stott, the second baseman, hitting .235. 3 doubles, a triple, 3 homers, and 17 RBIs. 0-1. Hit up the middle and on one hop into center field for a base hit. Stott around first. He'll stop there. It's the third Phillies hit today. And Stott's aboard with 1 out in the bottom of the second.
Well, that fastball from Jose Berrios was just a little bit elevated. I think Alejandro Kirk had his target down and away. And Jose Berrios' fastball was up a little bit out of that strike zone. And Bryson Stott does a good job of just meeting barrel to baseball. That's all he did there.
Yeah, it didn't sound at least like he totally squared it up, but he certainly hit it hard enough to get it out of the infield. And here's Edmundo Sosa with 1 out and 1 on. Right on right pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike one. Sosa drawing the start today, and a ripple effect of the Trey Turner injury. Only the 12th game of the year for Sosa, who's hitting .276. 0-1. Stott takes off. The pitch is fouled off to the right side. 0-2. Bryson Stott will have to turn around and head back. Phillies base runner is a dangerous base stealer. 31 last year, and he's already stolen 7 this year while only being caught once. Berrios in the set, glove just above his belt. Peek at first in the pitch. High, ball 1.
Kirk was actually standing up out of his crouch there. He wanted that fastball between the letters in the neck, and Sosa doesn't offer at it. I would imagine they would go down here.
1-2. Stott takes off. Breaking ball is low. Throw down to second. Not in time. Stott thinking they would go low as well. Ran on the slurve and makes it in there for his 8th stolen base this year.
Stott just such a good base stealer. So important on any team. The Blue Jays have that. They just the players that do that start, that are fire starters just like Stott is, they're just not getting on base. And I think that's the problem.
So now a runner on second, 1 out, and the 2-2 is off the handle, foul back into the netting. And the throw back actually skipped all the way past second base, but Davis Schneider was alert to pick it up. So it'll be a second new baseball for Jose Berrios, because after that one was scuffed up, the second one hit the dirt. So now he palms up a clean one, kicks his heel into the rubber, and steps back on. A deep breath, a look at second. And the 2-2. Foul tipped into the glove, strike 3. Another changeup from Berrios. Sosa a little bit upset there. Berrios really using that change effectively so far.
Yeah, and it's been really good. It's been more of a split finger type action to it. Really good downward action, starting at the bottom of that strike zone and then dropping out of the strike zone. An unhittable pitch, especially for Sosa. You can see the frustration on his face as he walks back to that dugout.
So with 2 down, another left-handed hitter, Cody Clemens, appears in his 3rd game of the season. First pitch. High and outside, ball 1. Cody, the son of 2-time Cy Young winner with the Blue Jays, Roger Clemens. A look at Stott in the 1-0. Breaking ball for strike 1. Bryson Stott on second with 2 outs, 1-0 Phillies. Cody Clemens pinwheels his bat 3 times, wide open stance. The 1-1. Change up outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. In about as limited of a sample as you can have, Clemens off to a good start. 2 for 5 this year with a double and a homer. The 2-1. Hit in the air. Right field. Going back. It's out of here. Cody Clemens sends a changeup into the right field seats, and the Phillies are up 3-0 with 2 outs in the bottom of the second.
Well, it's still a small sample size, but he is 3 for 6 with 2 homers. Jose Berrios and Alejandro Kirk were being careful with him. They did not throw a fastball to Cody Clemens. That last pitch that he hit out was a changeup down in the zone, and Cody Clemens goes down and gets it and golfs it into those bleachers in right field. But small sample size, but still pretty good.
Good sample. Clemens knew it right away. Here's the pitch to Garrett Stubbs now, the left-handed hitting catcher and number 9 hitter for the Phillies. He takes strike 1. 3-0 Phillies, bottom of the second. Nobody on with 2 outs. Stubbs hitting 150 in 7 games this year. Here's the 0-1. Fouled off, 0-2. Get your Jays Care 50-50 tickets now, and you'll have multiple chances to win cash. You could win Friday's early bird prize of $5,000 cash, plus the jackpot, which is already over $120,000. Visit BlueJays.com/5050 from anywhere in Ontario or Nova Scotia. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 on a back foot slurve, and Kirk will apply the tag to end the inning. Phillies add to their lead with 2 hits. The 2-run shot from Cody Clemens makes it 3-0 Philadelphia after 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Which Looney Dogger are you? The Fork and Knifer, Splatterer, Condiment Queen, or Big Dipper? This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. You will have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the stadium. Then show the world your Looney Dog style. Because whether you're the mustard maven or ketchup king, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. So don't miss out on this deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's, every Tuesday home game.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit ConnexOntario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He rocks the ball to left field. The Blue Jays have gone back-to-back.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 3rd inning, Blue Jays at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, trailing the Phillies 3-0. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer today. Tom Young, our technical director. The slender left-hander Christopher Sanchez back on the mound. Right-handed hitter IKF leads off for the Blue Jays, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa takes ball 1 at the ankles. Kevin Kiermaier will hit second this inning, and then back to the top of the order, and George Springer. Springer, the only Blue Jay with a hit so far. 1-0. IKF sends the ball to right, charging in Castellanos, slides, and he traps it. IKF will round first, stop there. He's got the second Blue Jay hit today in this 3-0 game in favor of Philadelphia.
And IKF has been so good at just getting on base recently, and that's no different right there. He takes a tough pitch and just fillets it to right field just in front of the outreached arm of Castellanos.
Now he'll lead off first, shuffling out to a 3.5-step lead. Shuffles back, and the pitch to Kevin Kiermaier. Downstairs, ball 1. Congratulations to Kevin Kiermaier, who reaches 10 years of service time in Major League Baseball today. Third Blue Jay this season to reach it after George Springer and Kevin Gausman. But maybe extra special for Kiermaier. Left on left, 1-0 pitch. No, it's going to be a step and throw over to first. I say that, and it's to take nothing away from Springer or from Gausman, but both were the top dozen picks in the draft. Kevin Kiermaier was a 31st round pick out of Parkland College by the Rays back in 2010. 1-0 is low, and he takes it to make it 2 balls, no strikes.
There's no such thing as the 31st round anymore. Let's just be clear about that.
There isn't a 21st round anymore.
And I can almost guarantee that you can't tell me where Parkland College is without looking.
No, and I actually just had it up, and I still don't know. It's in Illinois. I know that, but I don't know where. Kevin, a native of Fort Wayne, Indiana, takes the 2-0 inside, 3-0.
I'm sure there's a lot of Parklands all over the place. That seems like a city that would be almost in every state.
Parkland is in Champaign, Illinois. For Kiermaier, though, a 2010 pick, debuted in 2013 for just 1 game, but then in 2014 really broke in. 3-0. Inside ball 4. He'll take a 4-pitch walk. A good start to his day. And the Blue Jays have something brewing here in the third. 2 on, nobody out. It's still 3-0 for the Phillies. Here comes George Springer.
Well, that would have been a tough AB for Kevin Kiermaier against the lefty, Christopher Sanchez. I think Sanchez just let Kiermaier off the hook there. Kiermaier has struggled mightily against lefties this season.
Sanchez's control has been spotty at times for the Phillies this year. 13 walks and just over 29 innings coming into today. Springer with a hit back in the first. Comes up with first and second, no outs. First pitch is down and in, ball 1. That's 5 straight balls for Sanchez. And he's actually thrown only 1 strike this inning. It was the IKF single to right.
Yeah, and if I'm George Springer, I'm waiting for Christopher Sanchez to throw a strike before I swing. I'm not swinging at anything outside of that zone. I'm just waiting. And I know that George Springer has had trouble swinging at good pitches this season, but this is the situation where you need to swing at a good pitch.
Meeting on the mound right now initiated by the catcher, Garrett Stubbs. All the infielders came in as well. Canadian manager Rob Thompson stayed in the dugout. Same with pitching coach Caleb Cotham, and Sanchez is now getting comfortable again on the mound. IKF on second, Kiermaier on first. Nobody out. 3-0 Phillies, top of the third. The 1-0 to Springer. Bounce to second, picked up by Stott. Backhand flip to Sosa at short, over to first, double play. And that will stop a rally cold. A 4-6-3 double play turned by the Phillies. Now 2 outs in IKF on third.
And in that situation, when you're ahead in the count, you have a pitcher that is very erratic with his fastball. You can't let him off the hook. Swinging at a fastball down and away, that's not the pitch that you need to swing at in that situation. You want to wait for something on the inner third, something that you can drive. There's 2 runners on base, nobody out. You cannot swing at a pitch like that ahead in the count.
Guerrero will try and salvage the inning for the Blue Jays. He takes a pitch outside, 1-0. IKF on third, 2 outs. Top of the third inning. (1-0) outside again. Third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Elmwood and Owen Sound. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com. Canada's #1 rust protection. IKF leads off in foul territory on the grass. 2-0 to Vlad. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Inning started with a single and a walk, but the twin killer on the ground ball has turned it into 2 outs now and just a runner on third. The pitch. Guerrero takes again. 3 balls and 1 strike as that one landed low. Guerrero 0 for 1 with a ground out back to the mound in the first. 3-1 pitch, outside ball 4. He'll take his 20th walk of the year. and extend the inning. Now first and third with 2 outs, and Justin Turner about to step in.
And this is the guy I want up in this situation. 2 outs, runner in scoring position. That's a big run out on third base. If you're the Blue Jays, you just need to inch yourself back into this ball game, down by 3, especially with Jose Berrios on the mound. He's a guy that will hold it at 3-0. And if you can get one run in this inning, 1 run in the next inning, especially against a guy like Christopher Sanchez, who doesn't really know where his fastball is going right now, you'll be in business.
Turner with 4 RBIs in his last 5 games steps in. The pitch. Low ball 1. Blue Jays third baseman knows these confines well. Played 3 years with the Mets before his 9-year stint with the Dodgers. 1-0. Called strike. That was a fastball on the outside edge. Turner leaned over the plate as he watched that one land in. Takes a second, looks toward third base coach Carlos Fablis for some signs, and gets ready to go. Guerrero on first and IKF on third. 2 walks and a base hit this inning for the Blue Jays, but no runs in. They trail 3-0 with 2 outs in the top of the third. The 1-1. Lifted to center field, playable for Marsh. He'll wave off the right fielder Castellanos, get under it and squeeze it for the third out. Blue Jays leave 2 on after a hit and a walk to start the inning. They do not score, and middle of the third, it's 3-0 Phillies. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey everybody, I'm former IndyCar driver James Hinchcliffe.
And I'm Indy 500 winner and current IndyCar driver Alexander Rossi. And we're the hosts of Off Track with Hinch and Rossi.
Look guys, it's May, which means the biggest race of the year, the Indianapolis 500, is almost here. So make sure you join us every Monday and Thursday throughout the month as we bring you all the content you could ever want to prepare you for the most exciting day in racing.
So download Off Track now on the all-new SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89. Or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
Each night after the horn sounds, NBA Radio has you covered with the best analysis of all the games.
When healthy, they check a lot of boxes.
We'll break down the playoff action.
Tatum saw it coming, picked it off, drives in, and throws it down with 2 hands.
And take you inside the locker room to hear from the players and coaches.
It seemed like we had a lot of guys that were getting banged up, but we were able to get the job done.
Hear the NBA Radio Playoffs postgame show every night throughout the postseason on NBA Radio Channel 86 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
Jays fans, this is George Springer, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
George Springer, airborne, snatches it out of the sky.
Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. When home improvement projects are throwing you a curveball, talk to the folks at Timbermart before you begin your next job. They've got the material and know-how to make sure you have all your bases covered. Timbermart, Canada's building center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Bottom of the third starts with a fastball for a strike. And Jose Berrios gets ahead of Kyle Schwarber, 0-1. 3-0 Phillies, home half of the third. And it's 1-2-3 in the Philadelphia order. 0-1. Outside. Whit Merrifield and Bryce Harper to bat this inning as well. Jose Berrios struck out Kyle Schwarber on a changeup in the dirt to start his appearance. One. Fouled back, 1-2.
And after that last inning ended, Jose Berrios put his face in his glove and screamed. I don't know what he said. I don't pretend to know what he said, but he screamed. You know that he's frustrated, giving up 2 runs, basically to Cody Clemens.
Next pitch is a swing and a miss at a slurve. Strike 3. 5th K of the day already for Berrios. 1 out.
And I think that's why Jose Berrios is so frustrated after that inning. His stuff is good. his stuff has been good up until that point, and he just makes a couple of missed pitches, missed spots to Cody Clemens, and all of a sudden the Blue Jays are down 3-0.
For Berrios, it's the first time this year he's given up 3 earned runs in a game, or 3 runs at all. First pitch to Whit Merrifield off the end of the bat. A liner up the middle past the dive of Davis Schneider. Single for Merrifield. He's on first, and Blue Jays fans know he can run. He'll be up now with Bryce Harper at the plate.
Yeah, that's something we saw so many times last year. Just a simple line drive, one hopper up the middle, base hit, guy gets on first base, steals second, and possibly steals third, especially with one out.
Merrifield led the Blue Jays last year with 26 stolen bases. He was thrown out 10 times, but he's a guy who has led the American League in stolen bases 3 times. Getting his sliding mid on right now and catching up with Vlad. 1 out, 1 on. The pitch to Bryce Harper is just outside. 3-0 Phillies, bottom of the 3rd. Harper started the offensive day for Philadelphia with a single with 2 outs in the first. Came around to score on the Castellanos double. The pitch. Outside ball 2. Merrifield bouncing around, creating havoc over there at first base in the corner of Jose Berrios' eye.
Yeah, he's the last guy that you want on base over there. Not necessarily to steal, but to be annoying over there, basically. Hopping around.
2-0 is outside. Now 3 balls and no strikes.
And these bad pitches to Bryce Harper, these balls to Bryce Harper might be indirectly related to Whit Merrifield being on first base and kind of messing with Jose Berrios.
3-0. Called strike 1. Merrifield talking with Paco Figueroa, the first base coach for the Phillies. Dusty Wathan coaches third. Guerrero plays a step off the line with the left-handed hitter Harper up. 3-1, and now actually a throw over to first. Merrifield back standing. A peek at Merrifield. Berrios kicks and fires. Outside, ball 4. First walk issued today by Berrios, and now runners on first and second, and Nick Castellanos coming up, who drove in today's first run with a double in the first.
Yeah, I don't mind that, though. If there's one guy in this lineup that I'm not afraid to walk, it's Bryce Harper, especially with Nick Castellanos coming up next. I'm pretty sure that first inning double to Nick Castellanos was an outlier, and Jose Berrios will handle Nick Castellanos the rest of the night pretty easily. Not easily, but he'll make good pitches to Castellanos.
First pitch is fouled off. 0-1. These two know each other pretty well. Castellanos spent a fair bit of time with the Detroit Tigers, while Jose Berrios was a longtime Twin. Castellanos, after the hit, is 8 for 20 against Berrios in his career, a .400 average. Swing and a miss at an 0-1 change, though, and Berrios ahead, no balls, 2 strikes. One important thing with that line against each other, they've only faced a handful of times since 2020. This is the 5th time they've faced since the COVID season. Merrifield bouncing around on second. The 0-2 is popped up, back of second. IKF gives way to Kevin Kiermaier in shallow center field, who makes the catch. Wary of Merrifield, tosses it back into the infield. Whit will stay at second. Bryce Harper stays at first. There are 2 outs.
And like I said, if Jose Berrios makes good pitches to Nick Castellanos, Nick Castellanos will get out. If you make good pitches to Bryce Harper, there's no guarantee that Bryce Harper gets out, because he hits a lot of tough pitches.
That's how you win 2 MVP awards. Merrifield himself, though, 3-time All-Star. Castellanos with a couple of All-Stars under his belt as well. Here's Brandon Marsh with 2 outs. Alejandro Kirk's going to step in front of the plate and give the infield some signs. Mentioned that Berrios might be a little bit sweaty in the weather. Well, You can see how wet the hair is of Brandon Marsh, who takes strike one on a breaking ball with 2 down, 2 on, and the Blue Jays trailing 3-0, bottom of the third. It all kind of fits into the look. The long, stringy hair of Marsh complemented by the big, bushy beard for the left-handed hitter. 0-1. Hit foul to the left side. He sliced it out of play, 0-2.
Do you remember what he looked like before when he was with the Angels?
I've looked up pictures of shorter beard Brandon Marsh. He did kind of near the end of his second year with the Angels when he got traded to Phillies, started rocking this, but Phillies pride themselves on being a fun clubhouse. He's a big part of that. The Pirate look works for him pretty well, even though he's a Philly. 0-2. High fastball at 96. Marsh wouldn't budge. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And the thing about what he looked like when he was with the Angels, he just looks like a normal guy. Just like a guy that's walking down the street. Nothing weird about it. That's the funny thing.
1-2. Sliced foul again and into the seats. Well, it's like when James Harden entered the NBA, a guy who at one point they loved in Philadelphia, maybe not as much now. He didn't have the long beard. He looked way different. When you look at like rookie season James Harden, it's a completely different guy.
Yeah.
But I guess when you grow a foot-long beard, it really affects you.
Is this a foot long?
No, probably.
It might be.
1-2. Lifted to left, going back. Schneider has some room in front of the wall and just on the edge of the track makes the catch to end the inning. Berrios works around the walk and the hit, strands a pair, and keeps the Phillies off the board in the bottom of the third. 3-0 Philadelphia going to the fourth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Embrace the power. That is bold. And speed of the NTT IndyCar Series on SiriusXM.
Joseph Newgarden wins the Indy 500.
The season rolls on Saturday afternoon at 3 Eastern with the Sancio Grand Prix.
That was sweet.
Nice job, guys. From the green to the checkers.
Flies under the twin checkers.
Hear every thrilling lap live on IndyCar Nation Channel 218, NBC Sports Audio Channel 85.
Alex Palou.
Thank you so much. And on the all-new SiriusXM app.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
The most important person in sports is you, the fan.
Let me tell you something. I'm a real fan.
And your place for sports talk is Mad Dog Sports Radio, where your voice is heard all day long.
I couldn't wait to get into the truck, turn on 82.
Sharing the thrill of victory.
The joy, the jubilation. I can't stop smiling.
And the agony of defeat.
When is this franchise going to realize people really care about this?
Passionate sports fans call 888-MAD-DOG-6.
You gotta love sports.
Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, or anytime on the SiriusXM app. Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Radio Network.
The fourth inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. Top of the fourth, 3-0 Phillies. Christopher Sanchez, the lefty, delivers a strike to Bo Bichette. And it's 0-1. I'm Ben Shulman alongside Chris LaRue. 4-5-6 for the Blue Jays here in the top of the fourth. 0-1. Swing and a miss.
And of course, Christopher Sanchez hasn't dotted up a pitch all day long, and then he dots up 2 tough pitches to Bo Bichette, who of course has been struggling recently.
Struck out back in the first inning. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 goes down on the change. 1 out on the third Sanchez strikeout today.
3 tough pitches from Christopher Sanchez. He started him off with a fastball down in the zone. Then he throws those 2 changeups that almost have split finger action. That's a tough AB for Bo Bichette.
Bo down. Here comes Davis Schneider, the pitch. Called strike 1. After Schneider hits, we'll take a look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Currently in Philadelphia, it's 3-0 Phillies over Blue Jays. 0-1 is waved at and missed. Strike 2. Schneider bounced the ball to third base back in the second inning. He's 0 for 1. 0-2. Down and away. Tall left-hander Sanchez gets into the wind, releases the pitch. And Schneider fights it off to the right side to stay at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Davis Schneider hitting .270 coming into this game. 6 doubles, 3 homers, had 2 extra base hits in the series in Washington over the weekend. 1-2 again. Grounds it foul left side right at Carlos Fablis, goes through the legs of the Blue Jays third base coach and hits the tarp down the left field line.
You can almost hear Davis Schneider's friends and family when he's at bat.
A little more cheering.
I don't know. I was just kidding.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3 on the changeup. Back-to-back Ks for Sanchez. 2 outs, and let's look at the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Join them for wings, ribs, beer, cocktails, and catch every play at your local St. Louis Bar and Grill. Download the app or visit stlouiswings.com for more details. Always devilishly good. First, the pitch to Danny Jansen. Outside, ball 1. Baltimore Orioles visiting Washington just after the Blue Jays left. And the Nationals right now up 1-0 on Baltimore. Jansen takes strike 1. Game is in the bottom of the 4th inning. It was a Joey Meneses single that scored Jesse Winker to give Washington the 1-0 lead. 1-1 to Jansen. Checks his swing on a pitch low. Appeal to first. No swing. 2 balls and 1 strike. That Baltimore-Washington score brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. And Philly, it's 3-0 for the Phillies. Top of the 4th. 2 outs, bases empty. 2-1 to Jansen is low. 3 balls and 1 strike. One thing Jansen's done so far this season that we haven't always seen in previous years, he has walked a fair amount. 7 walks to 6 strikeouts to start the year. 3-1 pitch off the end of the bat, foul, out of play.
Yeah, he's always been a free swinger, and I guess he's changing it up this year. I mean, it's working. He looks better. His bat path is very flat, which I like to see from him, and obviously the results are pretty good.
Fouls off a 3-2 pitch again. Blue Jays in general have been more patient this year, although many offensive numbers are down from last year. The lack of chasing and the walks are up. 3-2. Jansen ropes the ball to left field, and that one goes off the top of the wall and bounces past Whit Merrifield. Jansen will head into second with a stand-up double. First extra base hit of the day for the Blue Jays, and he's in scoring position with 2 outs.
And like I mentioned earlier, such a flat bat path. He does a good job getting that bat down to that ball. A good fastball from Christopher Sanchez at 95 miles an hour, and he drills that ball on a line off the wall in left field.
Already his 6th double of the season. Alejandro Kirk is up with 2 outs. Jansen on second, the pitch. Breaking ball slips out of the hand for ball 1. Kirk with a strikeout to end the second inning is 0 for 1. He's driven in 10 runs this year. 1-0. And he hits a ground ball up the middle, picked up by Stott, the second baseman, shuffles, throws on to first, and ends the inning. 1 hit, no runs for the Blue Jays, 1 left, and they trail 3-0 middle of the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza, and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. and inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed-rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center. Or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
I give you the world, but there's other planets too.
Hola, soy Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Está escuchando a Toronto Blue Jays Baseball en la radio de Sportsnet.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer, and Tom Young is the technical director. 3-0 for the Phillies, bottom of the 4th inning. And the back half of the Phillies order will hit this inning with the number 6 hitter, Bryson Stott, leading off. Jose Berrios, the right-hander, coming off his first scoreless frame of the game back in the 3rd. Is ready to go, but Stott not in the box. And I think the Blue Jays are going to get some sort of pitch clock violation. There seemed to be some discussion between Alejandro Kirk and home plate umpire Andy Fletcher. And they ran something out to Kirk, and I believe the Blue Jays are going to get charged with a ball because they need a new pitch comm. And now the first pitch delivered down and in, so it's 2 balls and no strikes. Interesting that they usually stop the clock and don't assess penalties for pitch comm issues in the middle of an inning. But at the start of an inning, Andy Fletcher penalizes the Blue Jays. Here's the 2-0, and it's called strike 1.
Well, that's just mean.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot the players can do about pitch comm issues. It is amazing how many pitch comm issues you see. It gets swapped almost every game by one of the teams. 2-1 is a called strike, and it's 2-2.
And nobody really seemed to be frustrated. Kirk didn't seem to be frustrated. But then I saw John Schneider. And John Schneider was not happy.
2-2. Half swing on a breaking ball in the dirt. Appeal down to 31 around, says third base ump Paul Clemens. So Berrios battles back from that initial pitch clock violation to strike out Stott to start the inning. 1 out.
Well, that slurve right there, back foot slurve to Stott, was nasty. So much downward movement. I don't know how you hold your bat up on that one, but Stott definitely did not.
6 strikeouts today for Berrios. Here's Edmundo Sosa with 1 out. Down low, ball 1. Sosa with his second team, started with the Cardinals. 1-0. Down and away, 2-0. Was traded to the Phillies in 2022 when they were looking for some shortstop help. Bryson Stott was their shortstop as a rookie that year, had some ups and downs at that position. 2-0. Swing and a miss at a fastball, 2-1. And so Sosa filled in there. He's filling in at short sometimes now with Turner out, but he can play all over. Has played second, short, third, left, and center field, and is just over 300 career games. 2-1 pitch hit him. Looked like it got that left elbow. Sosa shakes out his lead arm and walks down to first.
Well, Kirk was set up in off the plate. You can see the frustration from Jose Berrios after hitting him, but the target was actually well inside. And Jose Berrios, with just so much movement on that fastball, it kind of ran back in and hit Sosa in the elbow, just barely though.
So that puts a runner on with 1 out, 3-0 Phillies, and the main difference in this game comes up to the plate. Cody Clemens batting left. First pitch. Called strike 1. Clemens hit a 2-run homer in the second inning with 2 outs. Scored Bryson Stott. It was his second homer in just 6 at-bats so far this year. The 0-1. Called strike 2. And you and I talked about this a bit at the commercial after the homer. Both pitches to start this at-bat have been breaking balls. They haven't given Clemens a fastball yet. In both at-bats, not just this one.
6 straight off-speed pitches to him.
0-2. Fastball hit to center field on the run. Kiermaier leaps and it's over his head, bouncing onto the track. Sosa around third. He'll jog in to score. Clemens off to the races. And he's going to stop at third base with an RBI triple. It's 4-0 Phillies.
Well, I don't know how Clemens hit that pitch. That was an 0-2 heater, 94 miles an hour off the plate on the outside part of the plate. He just stuck the bat out and hit a line drive over Kiermaier in center field. I mean, obviously he loves fastballs, but because he just drilled that 0-2 heater.
Kiermaier raced back and it just got over his glove. For Clemens, who has 4 hits now in 7 at-bats, all 4 have been extra base hits. In 3 games, he's now driven in 6 runs. First pitch to Garrett Stubbs is down and in 1-0.
So when can we stop saying small sample size?
It's going to take a lot more than 7 at-bats. Clemens on third, though, with just 1 out. 1-0 to Stubbs is downstairs 2-0. Berrios eyeing up the baseball, tucks it back behind his right hip. Kirk gives him the signal on PitchCom, and he's ready to go. 2-0. High and outside, 3 balls, no strikes. Certainly the toughest start in an impeccable season so far for Berrios. He's given up 4 earned runs, 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. 3-0. Outside, ball 4. And on his 75th pitch of the day, he walks Stubbs to put runners on the corners. Only 1 out. And Kyle Schwarber's about to hit. Before that, Pete Walker's going to go talk to Jose Berrios on the mound.
Well, I think the biggest thing, he doesn't quite have the command of his fastball as he has in his last few starts. You can see it running off the plate quite a bit. It ran off the plate and hit Sosa in the elbow just before that Clemens triple. But I think that's the biggest thing. The success really leans on that fastball. If he has that good fastball, that good sinker, that good command, he will pitch well. And I think down 4-0, you can probably look at the sinker.
So we've seen Berrios at times not have the stuff, but have the location this year, and he's pitched around it. Today it's a little bit more of the opposite, and he's been in some trouble. Does have the double play opportunity open here, so the middle infield will play back and shifted to the pull against left-handed hitter Kyle Schwarber. Third baseman Justin Turner, though, plays in front of the bag, looking to potentially retire the base runner Clemens, trying to score from third. It's Stubbs on first, 1 out, 4-0 Phillies, and the pitch. Check swing, and it's just low and inside, 1-0. Schwarber has struck out twice today to bring his major league leading total to 55 on the year. 1-0 is called strike 1. Trevor Richards starting to stretch and toss lightly for the Blue Jays out in the left field bullpen. Berrios is 1-1. Down and in ball 2.
Yeah, you can tell that he's really grinding through this inning. A lot of pitches. He seems like he's nibbling just a little bit. Doesn't really quite have command of really any of his pitches. Even his sliders are either out of the zone or they're kind of spinners over the middle. 2-1 change, drops in for strike 2.
That's probably been Berrios' best pitch today. Looking for a third strikeout of Schwarber, who struck out 215 times last year. 2-2. And he hit him. Check swing, appeal to third, no swing. And that will load the bases as Berrios hits a second batter this inning. And now Whit Merrifield is going to come up with just one out.
And Jose Berrios is pleading his case there, saying that Schwarber swung at that baseball, and when you swing at a pitch and it hits you, it's a strike. But they said that he did not swing, and he takes first base. John Schneider, Pete Walker, all yelling from that dugout.
Don Mattingly on the top step as well. He didn't look too happy with the pitch.
After seeing the replay, they have a pretty strong case. Schwarber did swing at that baseball, although it did hit him in the shin or the ankle.
Called a hit batter, though. He's on first. Bases loaded. One out. The pitch to Whit Merrifield is lifted down the right field line, slicing and into the sea of hands. Caught on the fly by a Phillies fan. 0-1. 4 RBIs this year for Merrifield, who's 1 for 2 today. Last year, he drove in 67 for the Blue Jays. Infield at double play depth, forces all around. The right on right, 0-1. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And you can see he just doesn't have the command of that heater. Alejandro Kirk set up on the inside of the plate, but there's so much movement. It actually almost hit Whit, like right in that hip area. He has to jump back out of the way.
1-1. Popped up, right side. And Vladdy will slow up as that one lands a few rows behind the first base dugout, 1-2. Merrifield acquired by the Blue Jays at the 2022 trade deadline from Kansas City. Had a mutual option this offseason for $18 million. Both he and the Blue Jays had to opt in. Both declined. And he signed for $8 million with the Phillies.
Is he with Scott Boras?
I don't believe so. 1-2. Hughes shot down the first baseline, foul. That one stops before it even gets to the midway point. Really lightly hit off the bat of Merrifield, but he stays alive. I could be wrong, but it just doesn't feel like a Boras move to opt out of 18.
The only reason I could see for him opting out at 18 is he wanted a multi-year deal. He wanted at least 2 years.
Great first half last year. Really good July for Merrifield. Made the All-Star game. Slowed down a bit as the season went on. 1-2. Bouncer foul to the left side. And he's putting up a fight here and driving up that Berrios pitch count. 85 pitches now for Berrios. Just 1 out in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, just grinding. And this isn't the guy that you want to face when you're grinding either. He's kind of like a Justin Turner where he fights off a lot of tough pitches and then eventually you make a mistake and he makes you pay for it.
Singled off Berrios in the 3rd inning, extended a hit streak to 8 games. 1-2. Popped him up, right side. Vladdy on the side warning track, angling, reaches over into the camera well, but it's past his reach. And that's just a foul ball again. It'll be 1-2.
Well, Vlad was a little bit tentative going over to that camera well over there. He's kind of tiptoeing. That fence down there is probably about thigh high, and if you hit that thing, you go tumbling over that fence and into that camera well. Vlad wanted no part of that.
Guerrero leaned almost early. His armpit actually went into the railing. So the 1-2 once more. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Chase the slurve away. 7 Ks now for Berrios and 2 outs, but still the bases loaded. Here comes Bryce Harper.
Probably not the guy you want coming up with the bases loaded, but that was a much needed swing and miss from Whit Merrifield. Now you just have to make good pitches. You have to get strike one. I think that's the biggest thing when facing a guy like Bryce Harper is just get ahead in the count.
First pitch strike with a changeup. 0-1. Schwarber on first. Stubbs on second. Cody Clemens on third. Clemens with an RBI triple this inning. It's 4-0 Philadelphia. 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth. 0-1. Grounded foul, 0-2. You definitely don't want to see Harper in this spot. A 2-time MVP, 2015 with Washington, 2021 with Philadelphia, and also the proud owner of 7 Grand Slams in his career. The 2-strike pitch. Hit in the air to right. Way back and out of here. Make it 8 Grand Slams for Bryce Harper and an 8-0 Phillies lead in the fourth.
Jose Berrios wanted that slider down. You could see Alejandro Kirk pointing at the dirt, and he just threw him a little spinner right over the middle of the plate, a little bit down right where Bryce Harper wants that pitch. He loves the low sliders in that strike zone, and he didn't get all of it, but he got just enough of it.
Just got over the wall in right center field. Springer leaped but couldn't reel it in. And really didn't have a chance as that wall is 15 feet high. And that'll be the last pitch that Jose Berrios throws today for the first time in 2024. He struggles. And with 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth and the Phillies up 8-0, Trevor Richards is entering the game. Let's go to baseball control. Here's today's host, Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. And before we check the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, don't forget, we do have Jays Talk tonight. Blair and Barker have you covered. They will take your calls. Blair, as always, will throw out the numbers to call after the final out in Philadelphia. All right, let's start the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard by checking the Stanley Cup playoffs. Round 2 in full swing. 2 games on the schedule tonight. Hurricanes at Rangers, Game 2. New York entering play up 1-0 in the series. Right now, Carolina leading 2-1 thanks to Jake Gensel and Dmitry Orlov. Alexis Lafreniere scoring for the Rangers. You can watch that game right now on Sportsnet and the CBC, though it is in the first period intermission. Later this evening, the Avalanche, they are in Dallas taking on the Stars. Game 1 of this series is tonight at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. It's about 90 minutes from now. You can watch it on Sportsnet and Sportsnet 360. Tomorrow, 2 more games on the schedule. Bruins at Panthers Game 2. Boston leading the series 1-0 after smoking Florida in Game 1 last night. That'll be tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. And the all-Canadian matchup gets going tomorrow as well. The Oilers in Vancouver take on the Canucks, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific at Rogers Arena tomorrow night. That'll be on Sportsnet and the CBC and on Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver. And we did get the NHL draft lottery this evening. The San Jose Sharks winning the #1 overall pick. It's the first time they have ever won the draft lottery. They have been drafting 2nd overall 3 times before, but the first #1 overall pick in team history where they'll be favorites to take Canadian forward Macklin Celebrini. The Blackhawks are the 2nd overall pick, and the Ducks will pick 3rd. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get back to some fiery action in Philadelphia. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you, Show. John Schneider being held back by first base umpire Mike Machlinski as he is pointing and yelling at the home plate umpire Andy Fletcher right now. 8-0 for the Phillies over the Blue Jays. Bottom of the fourth, and Schneider has been tossed from this game, and he actually started by going over to Paul Clemens, the third base umpire. This all goes back to Kyle Schwarber, who appeared to swing, but was called no swing on a check swing that hit him in the foot, and that had big implications on the inning as Bryce Harper hit a 2-out grand slam to turn a 4-0 game into an 8-0 game. Schneider went up to Clemens, then to the home plate umpire, Andy Fletcher. He's back in the clubhouse now as Trevor Richards' first pitch to Nick Castellanos is popped up in shallow center. The second baseman, IKF, makes the catch. And that will do it for the bottom of the fourth. The Phillies score 5 and take an 8-0 lead going to the 5th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Mental Health Radio on Sirius XM is for the moments when life is hard, for when you're dealing with a challenge that seems overwhelming, for when you need support and hope. Bringing NYU Langone Health's leading psychologists and psychiatrists to you. Mental Health Radio can help you navigate difficulties like anxiety, depression, substance abuse, and more.
We're facing a crisis right now. We want to be here to help you.
Mental Health Radio, your 24/7 resource for advice and support. Just search Mental Health on the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues. Right now on Channel 87.
It's a home run for Ronald Acuna.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy playoff basketball to reacting to the NFL draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
After injuries caused Brooks Koepka to wonder whether he could ever be healthy enough to win another major, that question was answered at the 2023 PGA Championship.
Koepka taps in for par. Brooks Koepka is the winner of the 105th PGA Championship. Impressive performance.
His fifth major title came in a two-shot win over Victor Hovland. Listen to the 106th PGA Championship beginning May 13th on SiriusXM Channel 92 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
In season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
At Radio Network.
The fifth inning is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance, helping Canadians through it all. Desjardins Insurance, insurance with a heart so big, it shows. Top of the fifth in Philadelphia, Blue Jays trailing 8-0 to the Phillies after the Bryce Harper grand slam. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Garrett Stubbs, in discussion with home plate umpire Andy Fletcher, took off his mask. There was a pitch clock violation on Christopher Sanchez. The Phillies started to start the inning, so the 1-0 to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is strike one. That'll even up the count. IKF, Kevin Kiermaier, and George Springer to hit this inning. Next pitch is called strike two, and it's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. IKF 1 for 1, singled, and was stranded on third in the third inning. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 5 Ks today for Sanchez, and a quick first out.
And all of a sudden, Christopher Sanchez looks very good, very dominant. He was erratic with that fastball, even with the slider early on in this ball game, but he has found something, and he has hit another gear.
Now he gets his lone left-on-left matchup of the day with Kevin Kiermaier coming up. First pitch, strike 1. If you're Sanchez, you got to be extra happy with an 8-0 lead. Even though he's got a sub-4 ERA on the best team in baseball, they have not won a ton when he's been on the mound. A 1 pitch grounded up the first baseline, a swinging bunt fielded by Stubbs, throws behind the runner and gets Kiermaier. Tough angle for the catcher, 2 outs.
Yeah, that was a great play from Stubbs, kind of throwing outside of that zone. If he threw it where he picked it up, he would have hit Kiermaier in that left shoulder. He had to kind of step back and then make the throw. Good play from Stubbs.
So now 2 down, and just to wrap it up on Sanchez, the Phillies are 1-5 when he starts. Pitch to Springer, grounded to third, picked up chest high by Clemens, throw to first in time. And that will do it for the top of the fifth. Blue Jays retired 1-2-3 and trail 8-0 middle of the fifth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey everybody, I'm former IndyCar driver James Hinchcliffe.
And I'm Indy 500 winner and current IndyCar driver Alexander Rossi. And we're the hosts of Off Track with Hinch and Rossi.
Look guys, it's May, which means the biggest race of the year, the Indianapolis 500, is almost here. So make sure you join us every Monday and Thursday throughout the month as we bring you all the content you could ever want to prepare you for the most exciting day in racing.
So download Off Track now on the all-new SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track. Sunday.
2 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Goodyear 400 from Darlington Raceway.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah!
On Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the Sirius XM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah!
The South Carolina Gamecocks are on top of the women's college basketball world yet again.
Perfection for South Carolina. 38 games, 38 wins.
We're reacting to the perfect season and talking to the biggest names right here on Channel 374.
Congratulations, Coach Saley. What does this particular title mean to you?
This title is pretty special because it was unexpected.
Keep it locked into Sirius XM SEC Radio as we continue to break it all down and celebrate the Gamecocks' third national title.
Hey, baseball fans, the NBA postseason is in full swing, and your home for nonstop discussion every day and playoff action on the court every night is Sirius XM NBA Radio Channel 86 and on the brand new Sirius XM app.
Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Shulman alongside Chris LaRue. Bottom of the fifth inning, 8-0 Phillies over Blue Jays. Trevor Richards starts his second inning of work. Blue Jays reliever threw just one pitch in the fourth and got the third out. First pitch to Brandon Marsh, the left-handed hitter, is fouled off 0-1. Blue Jays into their pen early for the second game in a row. 0-1. Changeup misses low. For Richards, already his 18th appearance of the season. One. Looping changeup misses high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Marsh 0 for 2, a strikeout and a flyout. 2-1 pitch. Fastball hit foul, 2-2. Blue Jays bullpen has taken a bit of a beating recently. They've given up multiple runs in 6 straight games. Although Richards has been pretty dependable for Toronto throughout the season. 2-2. Changeup hit to center field. Racing back, Kiermaier squeezes it in front of the track. 1 out. Let's look at the injury report brought to you by Bergmanis Private Personal Injury Lawyers. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count and call Bergmanis Private Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Private will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca. Bryson Stott about to hit with 1 out and the bases empty. 8-0 Phillies, bottom 5. A lot on the injury report today to be updated, which is good. It's bad that there's a lot to talk about, but a lot of updates. First pitch to Stott, strike 1. Yariel Rodriguez started playing catch today in Florida. He'll rejoin the team tomorrow and continue his rehab from Toronto. 0-1. Fastball smoked foul, 0-2. And the Blue Jays have tended to bring guys to Toronto when they might start looking at getting them into games in Buffalo. So, don't want to overstep. He was just playing catch today, but good news on that front for Rodriguez. 0-2 pitch bounced by Richards, 1 ball and 2 strikes against Stott.
And my question to you, and you probably don't know this answer, but I just want to get it out there. When he comes back, will he be a starter?
I would guess that even the people making that decision might not know now, because it might depend on what happens in the second start of Manoah. 1-2 pitch fouled off. Still 1-2. But yeah, that's a good question. Kind of relates to Bowden Francis, who is in Toronto now and is throwing a 2-up, meaning throws an inning, goes down, throws an inning again. Side session, simulating a game to some effect. 1-2. Off the end of the bat, a looper to shallow left field. Schneider stops now, starts again, and makes the catch on the run. 2 outs. Francis, John Schneider mentioned today, will likely assume a long relief role when rejoining the Blue Jays, but in his rehab starts, he said he will, or rehab appearances, he will start for Buffalo, and they do want to keep him stretched out, says Schneider. Chad Green is in Toronto now as well. He's stretching out his long toss. There's Jimmy Garcia, who's not on the injured list, but is dealing with a back ailment right now as Edmundo Sosa takes strike 1. Jimmy was throwing today, and it's unclear for us whether he's available tonight or not. Schneider said they'd know after that, hopefully either today or tomorrow. A 1 pitch fouled off, 0-2. And when asked by Sportsnet's Arden Zwelling about, hey, if Garcia can't go today or tomorrow, has it reached the point it reaches IL? John Schneider didn't definitively, but pretty clearly said that something's got to happen one way or the other, because the Blue Jays are essentially down a man in the bullpen right now. Sosa bounces the 0-2 foul down the first baseline. Still 0-2. 2 outs, base is empty. 8-0 Phillies, bottom of the 5th. I got some more for you still. Ricky Tiedemann is now throwing in Florida. So hoping for no more setbacks there and hoping that he will be back soon, said John Schneider. 0-2. Fouled off, and it's still 0-2. And then a Joey Votto question was asked today as well, and they said there has been progression, but he still has not hit live at any point so far. So we'll have to wait and see. That does not sound like something soon, but you never know.
There's no way that was just a sprained ankle, right?
When asked about it, Schneider said that Votto was very insistent on being 100% healthy. 0-2 fastball sails high. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I do understand that. I definitely understand that. But even a bad sprain in a basketball game, you wouldn't be out this long, right?
It's what you would think. 1-2 heater, check swing, appeal down to first, no swing. Even Sosa asked for the appeal on his own check swing. Still 2 balls, or now 2 balls, 2 strikes. I mean, it certainly looks that way, but I don't know anything more than what the team can tell us. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Chase the high heat the second time, and it's a 1-2-3, bottom of the 5th for Richards. 8-0 Phillies after 5. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better. So they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the Government of Alberta.
The Sportsnet Radio Network.
The 6th inning is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance, helping Canadians through it all. Desjardins Insurance, insurance with a heart so big, it shows. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leading off the top of the 6th, takes strike 1. Christopher Sanchez, the tall, slim left-hander, still on the mound for the Phillies. The starter in his 6th inning of work with Philadelphia up 8-0. 0-1 pitch, bounced softly to third. Clemens cuts off the shortstop Sosa and jumps and throws over to first for the first out. Let's take a look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard and go to Buffalo, New York, where the Bisons are looking to wrap up a 5-3 win over the Worcester Red Sox. Doubles today for Spencer Horwitz, Nathan Lucas, and Will Robertson. And a home run for the Bisons as well. First the pitch to Justin Turner. Way outside, ball 1. Guess who? Aurelvis Martinez with his 9th home run already this season, and now 33 games for the Bisons. 1-0. Downstairs, 2-0. Martinez also with 2 walks today, hitting a very respectable .299 right now. 8-0 Phillies, nobody on, 1 out, 2-0 to Turner. Called strike. That out-of-town score brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. 2-1 pitch fouled off. And now 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Have you ever watched a game in Buffalo?
I have not been to Salem Field before, no.
It is a great place to watch a baseball game. Although I've never actually watched a baseball game there. I just played there.
2-2. Line drive, center field, base hit. Justin Turner finds a slider that he likes and sends it into center field for a 1-out knock, his first of the day. What do you like so much about Buffalo?
Well, it's one of the biggest AAA stadiums. I think it holds, and I could look it up, but I don't want to. I think it holds 15,000, something like that. It's a monster of a stadium. But
first pitch to Bo Bichette outside, ball 1.
It's always packed. The fans are really, really great there. You have the freeway. I don't know what the freeway is going over right field there, but that's pretty cool.
1-0 to Bichette. Bounce foul right side, 1-1. Capacity, by the way, over 16,000.
Yeah, it's a lot.
At Salem Field. And there is a great history of baseball in Buffalo. They have had baseball for, I believe, over 100 years in Buffalo. 1-1 is in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. Salem Field got a lot of updates I'm sure players like as well when the Blue Jays were playing there during the COVID season. 2-1 is rolled to short, picked up by Sosa. He'll go to the bag for 1, throw over to first for an inning-ending double play. No runs, 1 hit for the Blue Jays. They're down 8-0 at the middle of the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
As Disturbed, Slipknot, and more prepare to invade Daytona Beach.
Pre-game for the 2024 Welcome to Rockville Festival.
With an exclusive limited engagement channel, Rockville Radio. Now for a limited time in the SiriusXM app.
And catch wall-to-wall coverage and performances from the Rockville Music Festival.
Starting Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. On Octane. Channel 37.
How are we doing out there, Rockville?
Wake up! Wake up, everybody! This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
This is Bob Kendrick, president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum and host of the SiriusXM original podcast, Black Diamonds. Hear stories about the legends of the Negro Leagues and conversations with the all-time greats they've influenced, like 5-time World Series champion Derek Jeter.
I don't care what race you are. You need to know your past. This is U.S. history. It's not just baseball history.
Hear over 70 episodes of the award-winning Black Diamonds podcast, available now on the SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM
Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host and producer, Tom Young, our technical director. Bottom of the 6th in Philadelphia, the Blue Jays trailing the Phillies 8-0. Genesis Cabrera is going to take over for Toronto. The southpaw reliever is the 3rd Blue Jays arm today after the Jose Berrios start. And then a nice scoreless inning in a 3rd from Trevor Richards.
And I tell you what, I wouldn't mind. First of all, I like Genesis Cabrera pitching in this ball game. He gets to get some work in, maybe boost the confidence just a little bit. But I wouldn't mind if Eric Swanson came into this ball game and got some innings.
Could easily see it happening. The Blue Jays had an off day yesterday, so even though they had to use the pen a fair amount in Washington, a lot of guys got some rest. And for Cabrera, a nice pocket here. 3 left-handed hitters will bat. First, it's Cody Clemens. The pitch. Off the handle, a looper to center field. Kiermaier coming in, makes the catch. And for the first time today, Clemens is retired after a triple and a homer to start his day.
For a split second, I thought that was going to fall.
I think with about half the center fielders in the league, it might have fallen. But Kiermaier got under it, and Clemens finally set down. Here comes Garrett Stubbs with one out. Stubbs is 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk, scored in the fourth. The pitch. Fastball called inside, looked like a strike. It's 1-0. A lot of teams rotate catchers a ton, but Garrett Stubbs is one of the true backup catchers in the game right now. 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Simply because probably the best catcher of the last 7-8 years, JT Realmuto, plays in front of him and plays like 140 games a year.
And in today's game, that is a lot of games.
The 1-1. Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Stubbs has been on the roster all year. This is his 8th game. Played in just over 40 each of the last 2 years. Left on left, 2-1. Down and in, 3 balls and 1 strike.
But it's also rare to get a guy that's really good defensively and also is good offensively. Those are...
Yeah. I mean, Realmuto's a Gold Glove and Silver Slugger winner in his career. 3-1 pitch. Called strike 2. One out, bases empty, 8-0 Phillies, bottom of the 6th. Kyle Schwarber in the top of the order waits on deck. The 3-2. Spiked ball 4. Catch every second of the action in the new renovated lower bowl at Rogers Center. Seats in the 100 level corners are set towards the infield and are now some of the best seats in the house. Visit BlueJays.com/ticket packs today. Kyle Schwarber in the box, the hulking left-handed hitter ready for the first pitch. It's called strike 1.
I didn't get to talk to you about it, but what do you think of Kevin Gossman's mustache? You're the mustache guy.
I'm very pro all mustaches.
Even though you don't have a mustache.
If I could, I would, but it would not look good. 0-1. Called strike, 0-2. I think I'm going to try it in November. Because that's the time you roll it out. But I got to do some testing.
That's a cop-out.
I keep it if it looks good. And worst case, it helps a good cause. Runner on first, Stubbs leans towards second, and the pitch. In the dirt, blocked by Kirk, who gets rid of his mask and just looks Stubbs back to the bag. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You can also start growing it in July and still contribute in November.
I don't know if the early stages should be out in public,
especially when you have to look professional at work.
Yeah, that's an off-season project. One ball and 2 strikes. Schwarber asks for time right after Cabrera gets set. It's granted by home plate umpire Andy Fletcher. Schwarber with his 4th team started with the Cubs, won the World Series there. Also played for Washington and Boston. 1-2. Fouled back. Cabrera reared back for 98. Schwarber just sliced it into the netting.
That might be his best fastball of the year. A fastball down in the strike zone at 98 miles an hour. Schwarber just missed it, though.
Schwarber with 2 strikeouts and a hit by pitch in the 4th that was contested, and it's the reason that John Schneider was thrown out of this game, arguing that Schwarber did not check his swing and in fact went around. 1-2, cut on and miss, strike 3. Back-to-back 98s from Cabrera. He gets Schwarber for the 2nd out.
Well, yeah, I think John Schneider is just frustrated with everything that has been transpiring over the last, I would say, a week to 10 days. That no call was kind of just the
whipped cream on the sundae.
I guess it's a manager's job to fire up his team and figure out a way to get them going.
First pitch to Whit Merrifield, hit well to left. Going back, Schneider slides kind of halfway and makes the catch on the track to end the inning. Whit Merrifield teases the left field fans, but Yenesis Cabrera strands the runner on first in a scoreless sixth. 8-0 Phillies headed to the seventh. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At the core, we are the same. Our games have grown differently, but here we celebrate our similarities. Join us for Cricket Night at the Park, presented by TD. Find your seats at bluejays.com.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
At the core, we are the same. Our games have grown differently, but here we celebrate our similarities. Join us for Cricket Night at the Park, presented by TD. Find your seats at bluejays.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He dived and he made the catch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the seventh inning in Philadelphia, 8-0 for the Phillies over the Blue Jays. A 5-run fourth has blown this game open, and Christopher Sanchez, the left-hander for Philadelphia, is still working here in his seventh start of the year. He's just on 76 pitches to start the seventh. He'll face Davis Schneider. Left on right, it's the first pitch of the seventh. And it's in there, strike one. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Schneider 0 for 2. 0-1 is hit on the ground at third, picked up by Clemens. Long throw over to first, and it was a little high, but Harper kept his toes on the bag for the first out. Let's go to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Washington still shutting out Baltimore right now in the seventh. It's 3-0 for the Nats over the O's. And in Atlanta, Braves up 2-0 on the Red Sox. First pitch to Danny Jansen, called strike one. Braves trying to keep pace with the Phillies, which is the opposite of what's gone on the last couple years. And Jared Kelenic hit a 2-run home run to give Atlanta that lead. Jansen takes strike two on the inside edge, quickly in an 0-2 hole with nobody on and one out, top of the seventh. 0-2. Hit on the ground right side, past the dive of the second baseman Stott, and into right field. It's a two-hit day for Danny Jansen, who has a one-out single.
Another flat swing from Danny Jansen, just drills that baseball through the hole on the right side of that infield. You think he could be good? He could be as good as Real Muto?
Now that's a tall order. I think he can definitely hit with him. It is tough to have the combination that Real Muto has. First pitch to Alejandro Kirk, called strike one. Because as we were talking about last inning, Real Muto simultaneously for the last couple years has been one of, if not the best, offensive and defensive catchers in all of baseball. 0-1. Kirk lines the ball to left center field. That's down, cut off by Marsh, stumbling onto the track. Jansen will go first to third, and Kirk rolls all the way into second with a stand-up double. Second and third for the Blue Jays. One out on Alejandro Kirk's third double of the year.
And that's kind of what the Blue Jays were dreaming about in the offseason with Jansen and Alejandro Kirk. That Jansen gets on base, Kirk is DHing. You know, it's that is it right there. That's a perfect scenario. Those guys both can hit. They just, for whatever reason, Alejandro Kirk has kind of just lost it. He just doesn't swing at good pitches anymore. But Danny Jansen is still a guy that really swings the bat well.
IKF takes a pitch in the dirt. Ball one with one out in the seventh. Spencer Turnbull, who until recently was a starter for the Phillies, is loosening up right now in the Phillies pen. 8-0 Philadelphia, and the 1-0 is hit on the ground just short. Jansen will come home, and Sosa throws on to first. Retiring Kiner Falefa, who comes up with an RBI ground out. Blue Jays on the board. It's 8-1 in the top of the seventh. For IKF now 10 RBIs on the year. Rob Thompson leaving Sanchez in here. He faces the 9-hitter Kevin Kiermaier in a left-on-left battle. Kirk on second. First pitch low, ball one.
Another tough AB for Kevin Kiermaier. We saw Christopher Sanchez actually walk Kevin Kiermaier on 4 pitches earlier on in this ball game. But this is still a very tough matchup for Kevin Kiermaier.
1-0. Swing and a miss at the slider. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kiermaier's out today was a swinging bunt down the first baseline. A nice play from the catcher Garrett Stubbs. A peek at Kirk, and Sanchez's 1-1 is low ball 2. Mentioned in his first at-bat, this now marks 10 years of service time for Kiermaier today. A 4-time Gold Glover and a Platinum Glover as well. 2-1. Swing and a shallow fly ball, center field. Marsh calling off the middle infielders, makes the catch overhead, and ends the inning. A run on 2 hits for the Blue Jays. Jansen comes in to score after the Kirk double and the Kiner Falefa ground ball. It's 8-1 at the 7th inning stretch. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
I am by your side. Got a heart so big, on this you can rely. No mountains too tall for the strong boots to climb. I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at desjardins.com/heart.
Hey, this is Eric Swanson. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Big time in a small town.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host and producer, Tom Young, our technical director, Blair and Barker have Jays Talk following this game. Bottom of the 7th inning, it's 8-1 for the Phillies over the Blue Jays. Toronto just got on the board, and now Yenesis Cabrera will pitch his 2nd inning in relief with Bryce Harper leading off for the Phillies. First pitch is a fastball bounced foul, 0-1. This is an interesting matchup, Cabrera and Harper, if you think back to 3 years ago. 0-1. Line to right field for a base hit. Harper with a single. He's 3 for 3 today, and he singles off the guy who, of course, by accident, hit Harper in the face with a 97-mile-per-hour fastball in 2021 when Cabrera was a Cardinal. Genesis Cabrera, after facing Harper, is going to have his day done. DeMarlo Hale, the acting manager for the Blue Jays, comes out and points to the bullpen where Zach Pop is getting loose. A runner on, no outs, 8-1 Phillies, bottom of the 7th. Here's our host today, Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. And before we check the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, one more reminder that we do have Jays Talk this evening. Blair and Barker have you covered. They will take your calls. Blair, as usual, will throw out the numbers to call once this game is in the books in Philadelphia. All right, let's start the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard by checking the NBA playoffs. Round 2 underway there as well. The Cavaliers are in Boston to play the Celtics tonight. Game 1 underway right now. The Celtics leading 80-64 with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Later on, we'll get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder in their first game of the second round, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. They'll take on Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. That'll be in less than an hour. We also got some award results as well in the NBA. Defensive Player of the Year being handed out to Minnesota's Rudy Gobert. Perhaps not a huge surprise. She got 72 first place votes. It's his 4th win, which ties him for the most all time with Dikembe Mutombo and Ben Wallace, both of whom are, of course, Hall of Famers. And in the Stanley Cup playoffs right now, round 2 in full swing. 2 games on the schedule, 1 on the go right now. Hurricanes at Rangers game 2. New York is up 1-0 in the series. Right now, this game is tied at 2. You can watch the second period on Sportsnet and the CBC. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action as Zach Pop hits the hill. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. Runner on first, no outs, 8-1 Phillies over Blue Jays. The right-hander from Brampton, Zach Pop, is loosening up right now. Nick Castellanos about to hit, but before he does, a reminder that Friday, May 17th is a celebration of the Hound on the Mound. Join the Blue Jays for Country Night and be one of the first 15,000 fans who could walk away with a Chris Bassett Hound on the Mound bobblehead giveaway. Head over to bluejays.com/bobbleheads to get your ticket. Bryce Harper taking his lead off first. Nick Castellanos up. The pitch from Pop is rolled over to short. Picked up by Bichette. Flips to IKF for 1. Throw over to first. And 1 pitch for Pop produces 2 outs on a 6-4-3 double play.
And that's what he does when he throws strikes. I'm a big fan of Zach Pop. I mean, I think if he can throw that fastball, harness that fastball, I mean, he's got one of the most electric fastballs I've ever seen. I've mentioned this before. He's like a Clay Holmes type of fastball. He can harness that thing and throw that ball down in the strike zone, he will be unhittable.
4th major league season for Pop, but just 27 years old. His pitch to Brandon Marsh. Inside, went with the cutter that time and missed. 1-0. For Pop, it's his 4th appearance of the season. He's now pitched 3 1/3 innings and given up 1 hit, 1 earned run. 1-0. Popped him up. Back of short, creeping in the left fielder. Davis Schneider makes the catch and ends the inning. Very tidy for Zach Pop, who gets 3 outs in 3 pitches and sends us to the 8th. 8-1 Phillies at Citizens Bank Park. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Fuel your fandom when you listen to live sports on the all-new Sirius XM app.
It's deep, it's going, and it is gone! It is bedlam at the bank!
Hear the games you just can't miss.
DiVincenzo again! Down! Knicks lead! 13 seconds to go!
And get closer to the teams you love wherever you are.
Connor McDavid wins the game for Edmonton!
The action you crave is just a tap away. Live sports. Live on the all-new Sirius XM app.
You gotta love sports!
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
We're talking college basketball on ACC Today.
Great run for NC State men's basketball. The story of this team is one I don't think anybody will forget.
They were able to accomplish a lot. They captured the hearts and the minds of the nation. DJ Burns became an absolute star nationally. I love it.
ACC Today, weekdays from 8 to 11 a.m. Eastern. ACC Radio, Channel 371, and the SiriusXM app.
You want baseball? The doggy has you covered. Tune in to Mad Dog Unleashed for the best baseball coverage anywhere. Weekdays 3 to 6 Eastern. SiriusXM Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Top of the 8th inning in Philadelphia, and the Phillies will go to the bullpen for the first time today. With an 8-1 lead, Spencer Turnbull makes his first relief appearance of the year after 6 starts to begin the season. Bumped out of the rotation when the Phillies got healthy, but Turnbull certainly has the length to pitch both the 8th and the 9th inning if it goes well.
He is 2-0 with a 1.67 ERA in 6 starts, 32 in a third innings. And he got bumped.
First pitch to George Springer, called strike 1. The Phillies do lead the National League in team ERA.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying, looking at the numbers, that's hard to fathom.
0-1. Bounced to second, picked up by Stott. He'll sidearm to first, and Springer is retired. He's now 1 for 4. What a day, though, for Christopher Sanchez. Goes 7 innings and surrenders just 6 hits and 1 run. Ends up walking 2 and striking out 5. And well in line to pick up his second win of the season. Here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 0 for 2 with a walk. Turnbull with a deep breath. The righty steps to the side, into the wind, his pitch. Low ball 1.
Yeah, Christopher Sanchez was all over the place the first couple of innings, even the first few innings. And then all of a sudden, he turned it around. He must have had a conversation in the dugout. And he looked like a different guy.
1-0 pitch is in there for strike 1. When he got something he doesn't often get, which is run support, which sounds surprising because the Phillies are so good, especially with the bats. 1-1. Guerrero hits a fly ball foul down the right field line, 1 and 2. But in Sanchez starts prior to today, the Phillies averaged 3.3 runs per game. When he didn't start, they averaged 5.3 runs per game. 1-2. Bounced in front of the plate and way off to the left. That looked like it actually caught Stubbs on the inside of the arm. He's shaking that right arm right now. It's 2-2.
Well, like you said, that is just tough sledding for Christopher Sanchez.
Yeah. Tough sledding for, and then we'll stop saying that, for Garrett Stubbs. Someone's got to tell him there's no one on base. You don't have to block that ball.
Well, there's 2 strikes.
True. But he didn't swing.
Yeah.
But I guess you got to start earlier. 2-2 pitch. Rolled foul left side.
There's so much to think about.
Oh, look, that's what keeps you employed as one of the few true backup catchers in the game now. You got to be able to do stuff like that. And Stubbs certainly does. Vladdy has an 8-game hit streak on the line. Hanging in the balance right now in the 8th inning. Turnbull's 2-2. Check swing on a pitch way down and away. Appeal down to first, no swing, says Mike Muchlinski. And it's a full count.
I have to say, that is a tough name to say.
Muchli
Muchlinski.
Muchlinski. 3-2. Guerrero pops it up behind him into the seats and stays alive. Turnbull facing his second batter. Blue Jays look like they might go to Tim Meza in the 8th inning. He's up right now in the pen. 3-2 again. And Guerrero fouls it off again. He's fighting against Spencer Turnbull, who's in his first season with the Phillies. First season he's not a Tiger. Was a second rounder out of Alabama in 2014 by Detroit. But injuries got in the way of a lot of his progress. 3-2. Vladdy pops it up. Drifting out now to center field. Marsh shuffles to his left, makes the catch. And there are 2 outs.
Well, I have to say, I mean, looking at the numbers, obviously you can tell that he's figured something out, but just watching him, he doesn't have incredible stuff. He's 93, 94 with the fastball, but everything is moving, and he locates his pitches. I've said that 1,000 times this year. When you locate your pitches, whether it's an off-speed pitch or whether it's a fastball, you will have success.
He's got a deep arsenal, like you mentioned, too. Can see 6 different pitches from Spencer Turnbull. His first pitch to Justin Turner. Inside, ball 1. Leads with his 4-seamer and sweeper, but mixes in a sinker, a curveball, a slider, and a changeup as well. 1-0. Fouled off the chest of Stubbs, who can't catch a break this inning. He kind of sags down, and the home plate umpire will deliver a ball out to the pitcher, Turnbull. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs, top of the 8th. 8-1 Phillies over Blue Jays. Turner steps in and half swings his 2-tone bat, light handle, dark barrel. The 1-1. Hit in the air, down the right field line, foul. 1-2. The injuries for Turnbull that I mentioned started with a forearm strain in 2021 that quickly developed into him needing Tommy John surgery. Missed a lot of that year, all of 2022, struggled in 7 starts in 23 and was actually sent down before hitting the 60-day injured list again. 1-2. Outside, it crossed up Stubbs, and it nails him, I believe, in the forearm or maybe the back of the hand. He was reaching way down and away like that was a breaking ball, and the fastball got him up near the wrist. And now the trainer is out to check on him along with Rob Thompson, the manager.
That was one of the worst cross-ups I've ever seen. You can clearly see that Stubbs puts down a 2, which is odd because he actually used the fingers to put down the sign, and then Spencer Turnbull throws a fastball, and it hits Stubbs right in that forearm bone.
Oh, that does not look good. He was reaching out too far for that ball, expecting it to cut away from the plate. He is going to remain in the game, but he's been hit in the right arm by a bounced pitch. He's been hit in the chest by a foul tip. And now he's been hit in the left forearm by a cross-up fastball. Still in there. Goes to the pitch comm this time. And the 2-2. Down and away that time with the sweeper. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
That was strange that he used his fingers to put the 2. I haven't seen that
maybe
in
the pitch comm wasn't making
yeah, but
noise.
it's working now.
Yeah, who knows. 3-2. Turner lifts a ball to left field, racing to left center. It's caught by Whit Merrifield to end the inning. Blue Jays go down 1-2-3. Bottom of the 8th coming up. It's 8-1 Phillies. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You could bring your crew and even mom and get to it. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays, and with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the Government of Alberta.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Vladdy with a huge stretch for the double play.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host and producer, Tom Young, our technical director. 8-1 Phillies, bottom of the 8th. Tim Meza now on the mound for the Blue Jays. He's the 4th reliever and 5th pitcher overall to come in today for Toronto. And he should face a pair of left-handed hitters as Bryson Stott bats first this inning, then Edmundo Sosa, who will hit right, and then Cody Clemens due up third, another left-handed hitter. Stott's 1 for 3, the pitch. Slice to left field, and it bounces just in front of Schneider. Looked like Schneider was a little bit in between on that ball and ended up taking an awkward hop. It's a first pitch single for Stott.
Yeah, it looked like he might think about diving, and then he decided not to. He's lucky that ball didn't skip by him.
Redirected at the last moment and got it on the backhand side. So one pitch and a single to start the 18th appearance of the year for Tim Meza. ERA above 6, and he misses high and outside to Sosa. 1-0. Defensive change for Toronto as well after Justin Turner lined out to end the 8th. Ernie Clement is now in, playing third. 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sinker slider for Meza. Just got Sosa to swing past that sinker. Left-hander with hiked up pant legs to his knees. Looking at the runner Stott. The 1-1. High ball 2. Would be surprised if Stott ran, but he does have a team-leading 8 stolen bases after swiping that bag back in the 2nd inning and coming around to score. 2-1. Bounced, and it hops away from Kirk, but Stott didn't end up going anywhere. Kirk raced back to it, and maybe with the situation, Stott not as alert to move up a base.
Well, I would be shocked if Stott decided to run, but I would also be angry as the opposing player, down 8-1 in the 8th inning. This is around that time where if somebody tries to steal a base, you're probably getting hit.
For interleague foes, these two teams actually know each other pretty well. 3-1 is lifted to left center, way back and off the wall. It bounces past Kiermaier on that awkward angle in left center. Stott's going to come around third and score. Sosa racing all the way to third. It's an RBI triple, the 2nd Phillies triple today. 9-1.
That ball was absolutely crushed by Sosa, probably about 3 feet from going out in left center there. He ends up getting a triple and an RBI.
Just a little parade just keeps going.
Just a little spinning slider on the outside part of the plate. He goes out and gets it, and he absolutely drilled it.
Not dissimilar to Fenway Park's left center field. There's a bit of a triangle out there at Citizens Bank Park in left center. And it hit an awkward angle, bounce past Kiermaier. So a runner on third, no outs. Cody Clemens takes the pitch low, 1-0.
I was going to say that you don't really see Kiermaier misplay a ball like that very often. It took a hop off the wall and bounced right by him. Sosa should be on second, but he's on third because of Kiermaier.
Next pitch is called strike at the knees, and it's 1-1. Blue Jays and Phillies play twice a year, but Kevin Kiermaier hasn't been around for a lot of that. 1-1 fouled off, 1-2, so limited experience in Citizens Bank Park. This is the first of a 2-game set, and unless something miraculous happens, the Phillies will take a 1-0 lead in this mini-series. 1-2. Bat sawed off. A bouncer to third, picked up by Clement. His throw bounces to first. It's picked by Guerrero for the out. Run comes in to score in Sosa, but that was an absolute explosion of a bat at the plate. The barrel actually flew right past Tim Meza on the mound. Was a little bit scary there, but Meza sidestepped away. And the Blue Jays get the out. Now 10-1 Phillies after the RBI ground out.
Yeah, that's a scary play. That was half the bat, the barrel coming right at Tim Meza's feet. And that's a really scary play for a pitcher. He actually didn't even notice it. He was looking at the ball and didn't notice the barrel come whizzing by him.
It's a good thing he went for that ball then, because it worked out pretty well. And here's Garrett Stubbs now. Spelling JT Realmuto for a day. He'll hit despite the beating he took in the top of the 8th. He swings and misses at the first pitch. Strike one.
So he got hit in the chest by a foul ball. He got hit in the forearm by a
cross-up
pitch.
And he got hit kind of on like the underside of the forearm on a pitch in the dirt. He rolls over the 0-1, but it's bouncing foul, 0-2.
Well, good for him. He's about to have probably 6 off days in a row.
A lot of time to get the ice bath going. 10-1 Phillies, bottom of the 8th, 1 out, nobody on, and the 0-2 pitch is bounced. Stubbs lays off, 1-2. Stubbs, originally an Astro, actually a teammate of George Springer's in 2019 and 2020, came over to the Phillies for the 2022 season. 1-2. Bounce the slider, and again, Stubbs lays off. Two. In the dirt, 3-2. Lou Stubbs picks up a defensive role now, a backup role. At USC, Southern California, he was the winner of the Johnny Bench Award for the best catcher in collegiate baseball. He bounces a 3-2 pitch foul softly up the first baseline, and the count remains full. Meza cupping his right ear, trying to listen to the pitch calm. Now tucks the ball into his black glove. 3-2 again. Called strike 3. Big outside edge benefits Tim Meza on that fastball, and there are 2 outs.
And you mentioned Stubbs won that award as the best catcher in college baseball. He was only an 8th rounder.
Kind of surprising.
That's very surprising.
Catchers are very highly valued.
I wonder why. I wish I could go back and ask some scouts about how a guy that wins that award, clearly the best catcher in all of college baseball, ends up being an 8th round pick.
Here's Kyle Schwarber, 2 outs, nobody on. First pitch is called strike 1. Schwarber has struck out 3 times today, was hit by a pitch in the 4th, came around to score. His major league leading 56 strikeouts now. Really clear the rest of the pack.
But like you mentioned, I think he's okay with that.
Oh, I think so too. 0-1 downstairs.
He has clearly morphed into all or nothing.
Schwarber, with 215 strikeouts last year, had the 5th most strikeouts of any major leaguer in any season ever. 1-1. Inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Only guys who had more than him, Mark Reynolds in 2009 with Arizona had 223. Adam Dunn 222 with the White Sox in 2012. Chris Davis with the 2016 Orioles had 219. And Yoan Moncada had 217 with the White Sox in 2018. Schwarber takes a pitch in the dirt. It's now 3-1.
And Eric Swanson is actually getting loose in that Blue Jays bullpen right now. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th, down 10-1. That's a tough getting loose for Eric Swanson.
Mays up to 22 pitches now as the 3-1 is ripped into right center. That will split the outfielders. Picked up by Kiermaier on the track. Schwarber tried for second. Throw coming in, and it goes past the second base bag. Caught on the backup by Ernie Clement. But it's a head-first dive for a double for Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah, you don't really see Kyle Schwarber dive head first very often, and that slide was relatively awkward for Schwarber. He's usually running around the bases or walking back to the dugout.
It's actually his first double of the season, which is a bit unique for him. But he does have 9 homers already this year, and he's on second base now, giving Whit Merrifield, the former Blue Jay, another chance to hit.
I wonder if Kirk is out to talk to Meza right now just to give Eric Swanson some time to get loose.
Pete Walker is on the phone in the Blue Jays third base dugout. John Schneider was tossed out of this game in the 4th, so DeMarlo Hale, the acting manager, steps out of the dugout, and they will make the change. One more trip, we think. Or I guess there will be one more after. But one more trip to baseball control for now. Here's our host today, Show Ali.
Thank you very much, guys. And before we check the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, another reminder that we do have Jays Talk this evening. Blair and Barker have you covered. They will take your calls if you'd like to vent. Blair will throw out the numbers to call after the final out. Let's check the Stanley Cup playoffs on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. 2 games on tonight's schedule. Hurricanes at Rangers, Game 2. New York entered play up 1-0 in this series. This game is now in the second period intermission. 40 minutes in the books. Carolina leading 3-2. Jake Gensel giving the Canes the lead with his second goal of the game right before the second period came to a close. You can watch the third period on Sportsnet and the CBC. In about half an hour, the Avalanche are in Dallas taking on the Stars. Game 1 of this series tonight at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. You can watch that one on Sportsnet Maine and Sportsnet 360. Tomorrow night, 2 more games on the schedule. Bruins at Panthers Game 2. Boston leading the series 1-0 after smoking Florida in Game 1 last night. That'll be at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific tomorrow night. And the all-Canadian matchup gets going tomorrow as well. The Oilers are in Vancouver to take on the Canucks at Rogers Arena, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific tomorrow night on Sportsnet and the CBC. Of course, you can listen to it as well on Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver. And the NHL Draft Lottery went tonight before Canes and Rangers got started. The Sharks winning the number 1 overall pick for the first time in their franchise history. The Blackhawks get the number 2 overall pick, and the Ducks will pick 3rd. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Back to the action. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Show. 2 outs. And Eric Swanson's going to enter this 10-1 ball game with a runner on second in the bottom of the 8th. The right-hander comes on to face Whit Merrifield. And the Blue Jays taking Tim Mays out after 20-plus pitches in the inning and giving Eric Swanson an opportunity here to try to work through some of the struggles he's had early in the season. An ERA above 16 in his 8 games so far. Merrifield with a single, a ground out, a strikeout, and a flyout today. Schwarber on second, and the right-on-right pitch. Fastball is high, 1-0. John Schneider didn't get specific, but mentioned today Eric Swanson and Pete Walker working a lot together, trying to make some adjustments. The 1-0 fastball is lashed foul right side, 1-1.
I don't think this is the situation that Eric Swanson envisioned himself in before this season started. This is a tough situation for any veteran reliever, especially a guy that's had the success of Eric Swanson.
Here's 1-1. High with the heater again, 2 balls, 1 strike.
And everything is elevated. Not only today, I'm not talking about today, I'm talking about all season long. Everything has been elevated in the strike zone, and that's why he's getting hit so hard, is because he's throwing juicy pitches every single time out.
His next pitch is high again, ball 3. Kirk putting both hands out, trying to settle down Swanson, who's fallen behind 3 balls and 1 strike. Mustached right-hander sets just above the belt, looks at Schwarber on second, and with 2 outs, his pitch. Hit to center field on a line, caught by the chasing Kiermaier, coming in to make the play. Swanson retires Merrifield to end the 8th, and now the Blue Jays hunt for a miracle, down 10-1. Top of the 9th is next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Netflix is a Joke Radio brings you exclusive comedy specials and stand-up from Netflix's massive library from the world's biggest comedians.
He's Mick Jagger. I pitched him a joke and he went, "Not funny!"
We give you unparalleled access to Netflix's top premieres. And join Tom, Papa, and Fortune Feimster every day for interviews with the biggest names in comedy. Netflix is a Joke Radio, Channel 93. Search comedy on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Each night after the horn sounds, NBA Radio has you covered with the best analysis of all the games.
When healthy, they check a lot of boxes.
We'll break down the playoff action.
Tatum saw it coming, picked it up, drives in, and throws it down with 2 hands.
And take you inside the locker room to hear from the players and coaches.
It seemed like we had a lot of guys that were getting banged up, but we were able to get the job done.
Hear the NBA Radio Playoffs postgame show every night throughout the postseason on NBA Radio Channel 86 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
Blue Jays fans, your manager, John Schneider, joins MLB Network Radio every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Just looking really for, especially the guys at the top, looking for those guys to get rolling and confident that they will. But I think once they do that and once we kind of do that, things will kind of even out the way we hope they would to start the year.
Managers at the mic on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89 and the SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Top of the 9th inning at Citizens Bank Park. 10-1, the Phillies lead the Toronto Blue Jays. Spencer Turnbull out for his second inning of work. Bo Bichette to lead off for Toronto with Davis Schneider and Danny Jansen behind him. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left is Chris LaRue. Bichette 0 for 3 today. 2 strikeouts and a ground ball into a double play. Long-haired shortstop points the bat toward the sky, twirls it around, and rests it near his right ear. First pitch. Breaking ball in there, strike 1. Sportsnet telecast was just highlighting the general manager and vice president of the Phillies, Sam Fuld.
Super Sam.
One of the great highlight reel makers of all time. 0-1, line shot caught at second by Stott. 1 out. And Fuld, it just felt like every day came up with a diving catch during his playing career.
I think that's how he kept getting jobs. His GMs were like, "Oh yeah, you're the guy that makes a couple highlight reel catches every year."
Fuld played from 07 to 15. Spent a lot of time with the Cubs, the Rays, and the Athletics. Big swing and a miss by Davis Schneider, 0-1. A little bit of time with Minnesota as well. One out, base is empty. Turnbull's 0-1 to Schneider. Down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Blue Jays trailing 10-1. Game's been blown open since the 4th. Low with the next pitch. 2 balls, 1 strike. Two-1. Schneider hits a sharp ground ball, foul down the third base line. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Danny Jansen is scheduled to be the next hitter, but he's not on deck right now for the Blue Jays. Two-two. Off the end of the bat, foul. Schneider reaching out beyond the zone to tip that one and stay alive. Blue Jays' one run today came in the 7th. Daniel Vogelbach on deck, by the way. DH spot coming up next. 2-2 to Schneider. Check swing on a pitch down and away. Appeal to first, no swing. Says Mike Machlinski, and it's a full count. Turnbull into the wind. His 3-2. Inside, ball 4. In front of the friends and family, Davis Schneider gets aboard today.
You don't hear them? You can hear them. It's a little louder.
I think you can hear them. I think you can hear them. I know you were joking before, but I think you can hear them.
I think some of his friends are actually wearing Phillies jerseys.
Which is kind of tough. Like, it's one thing if he plays on the Mets, but he doesn't even play for a rival of the Phillies. I think you throw on the jersey for one day. Although I think I did see someone in, like, his high school jersey, which
That's
is
cool.
pretty cool.
That's cool, but wearing a Phillies jersey is not cool.
Runner on first, one out. Daniel Vogelbach pinch hits. First offering is lifted down the left field line and into the seats. 0-1. Vogelbach hitting 107 on the year. Very limited action for the left-handed hitting DH pinch hitter. 3 hits in 28 at-bats. 0-1. Called strike at the knees. 0-2. Slightly open stance. Vogelbach bouncing on his front right toes. 0-2. Hit hard foul down the right field line.
The thing that I love about the Phillies crowds is whether they're down 10-1. Well, if they're down 10-1, that might be a different story, but they're up 10-1, and most people have stayed throughout the game. The crowd is pretty full still.
Hard to find a more passionate sports city than Philadelphia. 0-2, grounded foul. And they have to be excited about this Phillies team. They have the best record in baseball at 25-11. Phillies have been around for over 140 years. This is the 3rd best start in franchise history. A team that goes back to the 1880s has only seen this in 1976 and in 93, the year they lost to the Blue Jays in the World Series. 0-2. High and outside.
Well, this version of them is a fun team to watch.
GM Sam Folds.
Starting with Super Sam Fold.
Yeah. He and Dave Dombrowski as well, making aggressive moves over the last couple years for the Phillies. Brought in a ton of marquee signings. Harper, Turner, Schwarber, Castellanos. Traded for Real Muto. Extended some of their great guys. Zach Wheeler's been here now for a while. 1-2 pitch is low. Vogelbach lays off. 2 balls, 2 strikes with a runner on first, 1 out. 10-1 Phillies, top of the 9th.
Even Aaron Nola, I thought that was an aggressive move over the offseason. $172 million.
I mean, the market would tell you that it was, considering what some of the other guys got.
But look where he's at this season. He's doing incredible this season.
Blue Jays will see Nola tomorrow. 2-2. Rolled over to second, backhanded by Stott. Flip to Sosa for 1. Shuffles, turns to first in time. And that's the game. A double play ends it. The Phillies dominate throughout. It's a 10-1 win for Philadelphia.
Well, I think the story today was Jose Berrios and just the lack of command for his fastball. We haven't really seen that all season long. He's been pretty locked in, spot on with that fastball, that sinker. And today he just really couldn't throw it for strikes like he normally does. And this, when you are erratic with your pitches or your fastball, your best pitch against this Philadelphia Phillies lineup, they will make you pay, and they did today.
Lots of extra base hits for the Phillies. They take game 1 of this series, which we will wrap up on the other side before sending you over to Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. Phillies win 10-1. Stick with us. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep. Because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better. So they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
First pitch swinging, Danny Jansen rocks the ball to left. It's gone!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays baseball. I'm Ben Schulman. The Blue Jays fall today 10-1 to the Philadelphia Phillies alongside Chris LaRue. We'll wrap this one up quickly for you and send you over to Blue Jays talk. You mentioned on the other side the struggles of Jose Berrios today. He goes 3 2/3, 7 hits, 8 runs, 1 walk. He did hit 2 batters and struck out 7. On the other side, Christopher Sanchez dominates, and the Blue Jays bats come up cold again, Chris.
Yeah, it's just kind of the story of at least the last 7 to 10 days where the Blue Jays just aren't getting it done with runners in scoring position. With really, they haven't really had an opportunity outside of Sunday to really move the runners. And I think that's the biggest thing. You have guys like George Springer, you have guys like Kevin Kiermaier, you have guys specifically like Bo Bichette who are those fire starters when they get on base. They like to be aggressive and potentially steal bases, and they just haven't had the opportunity to do that. And that's the thing that I see when I watch this team. Everybody's just like, what do we do? If we don't have that, what do we do?
Blue Jays end up with 1 run on 6 hits, no errors, leave 5 on for the Phillies. 10 runs, 11 hits, no errors, leave 4 on. Sanchez gets the win to go to 2-3, 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 5 Ks. Jose Berrios gets the loss to go to 4-3. And the Blue Jays try and even up the series and get out of Philadelphia and end the road trip with a split. Pretty notable pitching matchup tomorrow. Should be a fun one. Aaron Nola faces Chris Bassett.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see Aaron Nola. We saw him in spring training. He looked like he was in midseason form during spring training. He got the standing ovation in spring training, the rarity. But I want to see Chris Bassett. I want to see Chris Bassett face this lineup, face the Bryce Harpers, face the Kyle Schwarbers, the lefties. He's been struggling with lefties for the most part this season, and those are 2 big lefties, 2 of the best in the business, and I'm excited to see him face them.
Bassett and Nola at 1:05. Today's game started at 6:42, took 2 hours and 35 minutes, finished up at 9:17 on a 27-degree day when we started, in front of just under 40,000 fans at Citizens Bank Park. The Blue Jays fall 10-1, go to 16-20. The Phillies move up to a Major League Baseball leading 26-11, but an opportunity tomorrow. Still not done talking about tonight, though, on the Sportsnet Radio Network, because Blue Jays Talk is coming up. Appreciate you tuning in to the game broadcast, though, for our technical director, Tom Young, our host and producer, Show Ali, and my partner, Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. Hope you have a good night. Hope to see you tomorrow for the quick turnaround again. 105 Bassett versus Nola in Philadelphia. But time to get your calls in, because Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker starts right.
I mean, throw them up at the top with whoever you want. And, a lot happened tonight. 6 extra base hits for the Phillies. The grand slam. Jose Berrios gave up one more earned run tonight than in the 7 previous starts this year. A lot of stuff happened, but bottom line, Kevin, when you see the Jays against one of the elite teams, you just realize how far away this team is from, like I said, a couple of years ago, we were saying, well, maybe the Jays had a shot at the World Series. Not just us, a lot of people had them up there. They have fallen so far, so fast. It's almost breathtaking.
Yeah, right now they're one of the worst teams in baseball. I mean, we can not say it any other way. I think with the at-bats that you're seeing that are non-competitive, that quite frankly, some guys who have 10 years in the big leagues look like me at the plate. It's ridiculous. And Berrios gave up some hard hit baseballs, and the slurve I don't think was working the way you wanted it to work. But man, when Jeff. This is why you add balance, and this is why all the time I tell you that give the guy on the mound a chance to throw one down the middle. And that is exactly, when you're watching the Phillies lineup, is exactly what I'm talking about every single day. You got to let him. He's going to make good quality pitches. He's a really good pitcher. Sooner or later, because he's a human being, he's going to throw one down the middle. And just trying to go fastball away, trying to tunnel the changeup off of that, trying to go backdoor with the breaking ball to lefties, trying to back foot that thing. Then you got to face righties you're going other side, that's glove side. To be able to have to locate multiple pitches, changing speeds, both sides of the plate, and you got a lineup who's just basically balled into, I'll give you that one, but when you miss, I'm going to make you pay for it, and that's sort of what it is. But for me, look, how many more times we got to have the conversation about George Springer? Jeff, you look at the 3rd inning, okay? The 3rd inning, when IKF gets the single on the sinker, Kiermaier sees 4 pitches on a 4-pitch walk. Springer sees a first pitch slider that's non-competitive, that's not even close. So now he's got first and second. The dude on the mound has thrown 5 non-competitive pitches, and then you swing at a pitcher's pitch down and away to hit into a double play. Don't you start after having a conversation? Call the guy in your office and go, hey, what are you thinking? What are you doing in those at-bats? And then the 5th inning rolls around. Again, when your pitcher on the mound just giving up 5 runs the inning before, the first 2 dudes in front of you have seen 5 pitches. Actually, they'd seen 6, but one of them was a pitch count violation. So you get two outs on 5 pitches, and then you come up and swing at a first pitch slider that's a pitcher's pitch and ground out. What are we doing, Jeff? Does that look like a 10-year veteran to you?
No.
I just don't understand it. Sooner or later, something's got to give there. Really, does.
I mean, we've talked about this for the last week. George Springer gets a hall pass from a lot of people. I mean, I don't know what it is, but yeah, for whatever reason, people in that organization are afraid to, I'm not even going to say call out, because I don't think that necessarily works. But for whatever reason, that organization seems married to the idea of George Springer as their leadoff hitter. And I'm beginning to think that, what's the option here? Do you have to take him out of the lineup completely? Is that what you have to do? Never mind dropping it down in the order. Do you just take him out of the lineup?
Would the lineup miss him? I mean, you got to ask yourself that.
Obviously, defense would be an issue, but I'm saying
put Kevin Biggio in right.
It seems to me that for whatever reason, people are scared to do anything with George Springer in terms of the lineup. So if that's the case, then just bench his ass. I mean, what's he going to do? He's under contract for 3 more years or however long it is.
2 more years after this.
2 more years. I shouldn't make it worse than it is. But seriously, 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590, 10-1, the Toronto Blue Jays getting bum rushed by the Philadelphia
Best team in
Phillies.
baseball.
Best team in baseball.
There you go.
They are the best team in baseball.
They are.
That lineup just absolutely
smothers
wore
you
down the Blue Jays.
They
do.
But,
again, you've talked about it, though. The Blue Jays, they're just some really bad at-bats tonight. I don't, the fifth inning, I can understand. I can understand when you're down, at that point, 7-0 or 8-0 or whatever it was. Realistically, you are not mounting a comeback if you're the Blue Jays. I get that. But Jesus God, have some pride.
Go down and fight.
Like, have some pride. I don't even know go down fighting, but anyhow. I mean, I know the fans are frustrated. We're frustrated. I've got to think that the folks up top are frustrated, but I don't know. It seems like everything's hunky-dory with this organization right now. I'm sure they can look at the standings as well as the rest of us, but I don't know. Maybe they're seeing some magical underlying numbers that suggest a turnaround is just about around the corner.
There was one positive. Danny Jansen looks unbelievable at the plate. Like, exactly
yes,
what I was talking about today about get the ball up, hit the ball out in front of your front leg. That's exactly what Danny Jansen did. You got to have a good approach when you get it. Don't miss it. And right now, how's he not hitting cleanup? Why is he hitting 6th? You can explain that to me?
I don't. Well, I'm sure the computer farted it out. I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing here. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot.
Guess.
There's a lot I don't understand about this lineup, about this team. 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. Ask you a simple question tonight. I mean, maybe I'm the only one surprised that George Springer's getting a hall pass from everybody here. Does anybody else out there feel that way? Is anybody surprised? Maybe I'm picking on old George. I don't know. I mean, he is not. It's true. He's not the only one. He's not the only one not hitting. We've talked about Bo Bichette, who is mired in the worst funk of his career. And again, Vladdy tonight didn't see much, but we've seen a little bit from Vladdy over the last 8 days that makes me think that he's, at least at this point, probably not the biggest issue facing this team. What did you make of Jose Berrios?
Yeah, look, I think that for me was more about the lineup he was facing than it was about Berrios and, the amount of strike ones he was throwing and where the sinker ended up. I thought the four-seamer was good. I thought the velocity was good. I thought his plan of going away to the lefties, get them looking out there and then try and spin that thing back foot or, at least if you're going to miss with the spinner, get it in there. I thought the plan of tunneling the changeup off the four-seamer away was a good deal, right? The change of speed, trying to get some weak contact, get him out in front. Like, the plan was good. It was just the lineup he's facing. Good luck right now. Like, they're going to do this to a lot of people.
John and Kitchener, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Hey, Blair. Hey, Barker. I don't know. Was it just me, or did Schneider get kicked out on purpose today so he didn't have to stay for the rest of the game?
Can you blame him?
No, I really can't.
Yeah.
I watched it to the end just to kind of, bask in the misery a bit, as most Jays fans I'm sure are. But listen, this question's more for Barker here. I just want to know what you're seeing, because especially for Springer, in 2021, I remember his first game he played after the injury, and he hit 2 home runs, and it was like, wow, we've got a player here. We've got the guy that we've always been looking for, someone to lead the offense. Even in 2022, he was still good, but lately it just seems like he's a totally different guy. And I get that he's a bit older, but there are lots of guys in the majors at his age that are still producing at an elite level. And he looks pretty fleet of foot out there, especially in the outfield, running the bases. It makes me think that it's more between the ears than his physical ability. But this goes back to my question. Barker, what do you see the main differences from Vladdy, Bo, and especially Springer from 2021 up until right now, what we're seeing?
Yeah, thanks for the call, John. Look, those are all great questions. Those are the $1 million questions. Look. I think with George Springer, I've talked to a few catchers that's caught behind him. He's got slider bat speed. He's an educated guesser. Sometimes when you're educating guessing, and it doesn't go the way you want it to go, then you start to sort of swing at things that you're not guessing for other pitches, right? If I'm looking, say, middle away for something spinning, and when I'm struggling, I chase the ball in, that snowball tends to go down the mountain, and it's going a little bit faster, I think, than he can control it. And also, I think him coming out of spring training, just like the other two guys, and trying to be aircraft carriers when you're not, trying to go outside the box. I know George Springer said he's going to start pulling more baseballs in the air. We've heard John Snyder, Jeff, come on our show, say the exact same thing. We've heard Bo Bichette saying in certain counts he's trying to pull the ball in the air, right, trying to change the game that way. And I think all three of these guys feel like if they're not hitting, their team's not winning. That's a lot to ask. It really is. It's a lot to ask guys, right, that are getting a little older, one guy or two guys trying to get paid. I mean, sometimes I think you're just trying to ask three guys to do things they're just not capable of doing.
Russ in New Jersey, you're on Blue Jays Talk. What's up, Russ?
Russ.
Yeah, I just left the game. I'm done. I know I'm going to be a sucker and go back tomorrow, but I'm done. I can't watch this anymore. Ross Atkins, the genius that he is, in the offseason, first of all, you guys said, Danny Jansen, maybe he should be cleanup. Who cares who's in the cleanup? There's nobody on base. They can't hit the ball. I called the fifth game of the season. I said, this offense is terrible. I could tell right away. You guys talked about the whole last year. We don't have a cleanup hitter. We don't have anything this year. Bichette looks like he's in the batting cages. He just swings at the first pitch every time. No plan in any at-bat. He looks disinterested in being here, I'll be honest with you. And this team is a terrible team. Ross Atkins in the offseason. Yeah, this team, we still had a hiccup in the offense, but we think the offense, for what? For what? Where are you getting offense from? Yeah, do I think Vladdy Guerrero should have a couple more RBIs? Yeah. Is Bichette, but you don't have a good hitting team. Your hitting's terrible. This team, nice new stadium, but you know what? There's going to be nobody there in August because the team's going to be 15 games out of under 500 and about 45 games out of first place. It's awful to watch. They have lost. Last year, I don't think they lost. You guys could look this up. More than 3 series in a row, and I remember all of them. Okay, this will be the 5th series I think that they haven't won. Okay, This team is a terrible baseball team.
Oh.
Choice of managers, 65 times. You had Gibbons, you throw him out, you brought your new guy in, now you have Snyder. It's not the manager's fault. You put a bad baseball team together. Case closed.
All righty. Thank you, man. I mean, I can't. We've talked about this. They're running a big payroll for a team that's got a great whack of holes. Like, I can see having 1 or 2 holes, but they got a great whack of holes. Yeah. And, I mean, look, the fans aren't stupid. Nope. Fans can see that the team is poorly constructed. And I think the longer this goes on, I think the more fans are going to start wondering what the long-term vision for this team is. And because at some point people are going to raise the white flag and say this team's not contending this year. And then we're going to start needing to talk about, okay, what's the next step for this team? And I think the first question you have to answer, and I think I know what the answer is today if I put 100 fans in the room, like, who rebuilds this team? Which baseball person rebuilds this team if it needs to be? Do you want Ross Atkins rebuilding your team? I mean, if I can rebuild my team by signing free agents, maybe. But in terms of making trades, is he the guy you want making trades? Based on what? I mean, this is an organization, let's face it, this is an organization that's lived off Vladdy and Bo for the last 5 years.
Yep.
That's what they've done. They've lived off Vladdy and Bo, and they've signed free agent pitchers. That's basically it. The rest of the time, they filled in here and there. They've had the odd IKF, the Kevin Kiermaiers, the Brandon Belts, this year the Justin Turner. I'm not taking anything away from those guys, but this is an organization that really hasn't done much to address the core of this lineup. Basically just counting on Springer, Guerrero, and Bichette to get it done. And they haven't gotten it done for 4 or 5 years. I mean, they just haven't. It's time we see that for what it is. So, yeah, I understand the fans' frustration. And we've talked about it a lot. I have said this, and I get grief for it, and I really don't care. I think, frankly, ownership deserves better than what it's getting right now from this front office. And if that rankles some feathers, I don't really care. I mean, they're paying a lot of money to put this in the field. Yeah. They are paying a lot of money. Alex Anthopoulos, JP Ricciardi would have crawled across broken glass nude to have this payroll.
Yeah.
Marty in Philly, you're at the game tonight.
Yeah, I was there with my dad. Two things. First of all, I mean, it's nice that at least compared to last year, like the bullpen is melting down with the offense, right? Because at least it's not all these soul-crushing losses. You know, like they keep it together and they can't score 2 runs. And the bullpen's great. At least everyone's sucking at the same time. If they turn it around, they turn it around. But I'm reading Reddit, and everybody's complaining about the GM and what were they supposed to do in between the seasons? You have to rely on Bo and Vladdy and Springer. What else are you going to do? One cleanup hitter wasn't going to solve this. None of them are hitting. So what would the answer have been?
I don't know if the answer is necessarily this year. I think you can go back to last year. Again, you've got enough money to put a good lineup together. Hey, what is the payroll? $235 million? Mm-hmm. I mean, you should be able to put it. I mean, there are better teams in the field right now making a whole hell of a lot of less money. So, I don't know. But on the other hand, you know what? I'm not paid to be the Blue Jays front office. There's smart people making good money there. They are the ones who are supposed to be making the decisions, for the betterment of the team, for the betterment of the product on the field. We've talked about this. For whatever reason, and leave aside the Shohei Ohtani thing. Just leave Shohei Ohtani aside. That was a business decision. That was a decision that had nothing to do with Ross Atkins. That was basically people way above Ross looking at Shohei Ohtani and saying, man, this is a hell of a business case. And it is. I mean, Shohei Ohtani that's not a baseball decision. That's a baseball lifestyle decision, right? That is a decision that has huge implications for your entire ownership, your entire corporation. So leave that aside for a minute. Last year, they tried to foist Brandon Belt on us as a cleanup hitter. Dalton Varsho was a cleanup hitter. This year, the big ad was Justin Turner. And again, I'm not taking anything away from those guys, but, you got to do better than that if you're running this payroll. And more to the point, you've got to make sure that you've got enough in the minor league system that you can trade to make these things. How the hell did the Yankees trade for Juan Soto? It's not like the Yankees are drafting first overall every year, right? San Diego's not drafting first overall every year. They somehow managed to have prospects that they can put together in deals. So it's a many-layered thing. I look at this organization. Look at their top prospects. Tiedemann's hurt again. Berrios, what is he? Who knows? Relvis Martinez is having a terrific year, and I can tell right now that people want a Relvis. You know what? I don't want to have a Relvis Martinez anywhere near this steaming pile right now. I'd rather have him stay in Buffalo and do what he's doing. But what the hell? If it floats your boat, bring him up. Because like a lot of people, I'm getting tired of watching this.
Yeah, I think I think a lot of it is too. When you get rid of Teoscar, you get rid of Lourdes, you get rid of Moreno, and you don't bring Chapman back, and then you fill in the blanks of what you filled it in with. Right? You had an opportunity if that's the way you wanted to go, and oh by the way, you didn't sign Marcus Semien back. You had a window there where you could make your lineup look different. You could sculpt that thing sort of the way you wanted to do it. Did they do any of that? Did they do any of that?
You had a chance to trade when you had Marcus Semien here. You had a chance to trade to add Raisel Iglesias to your bullpen and maybe take a run at things. And look at how close that team got that year.
Yeah.
And how much of a difference he might have made. It's entirely possible, folks, that was the best Blue Jays team. When they had Semien, when they had Bichette, obviously they still have Bichette and Guerrero. It's entirely popular that was the best Blue Jays team. That's as good as it's going to get for Vladdy and Bo in this organization. And that's scary. They've had years to replicate that, and they haven't been able to do it.
Yep.
Let's take a break and come back and go back to your calls on the other side. 10-1. The Philadelphia Phillies have filleted the Toronto Blue Jays, the first of two games. Do not forget, tomorrow is a 1:05 first pitch. Barker and Blair will be on Blue Jays Talk following the game on TV and radio. But we got a few more calls to get to before we turn the page in this particular game, and we will do that when we come back. This is Blue Jays Talk on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Which Looney Dogger are you? The Fork and Knifer, Splatterer, Condiment Queen, or Big Dipper? This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. You will have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the stadium. Then show the world you're a Looney Dog style. Because whether you're the mustard maven or ketchup king, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. So don't miss out on this deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's, every Tuesday home game.
We're two men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're two men in a truck.
Two men and a truck, the movers who care.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Kiermaier going back to the wall. He leaps and he made the catch!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Guys are grinding, man. You know, if guys weren't working their asses off and trying to get better and get out of this, you know, you'd be a little
good enough. And that's it.
Sure looks that way. It ain't lack of effort. They're trying. I've seen it. I've seen it.
They're trying, and people are.
Yeah,
absolutely. A lot of people are saying, "Well, Bo doesn't look like he." Yeah, Bo doesn't look like he cares.
How would you look if you were hitting 190?
Yeah, you know what I would be doing? I'd be getting off the field as fast as I could if I'm hitting 190. I don't want to pitch a fit because that's embarrassing. I want to get the hell off the field and get back to the dugout. I'm not going to start pitching a fit especially if I've been hitting 190 all year. Like if I'm in a 0 for 30 slump or something like that, and then maybe I'm going to fire my helmet a bit or fire my helmet around or, punch a garbage can or something like that. I don't know why the garbage can came to my head today. But anyhow, punch a garbage can or something like that. But not when I basically stunk all year. Chris in Stony Creek. What's up, Chris?
Chris.
Guys, how are you guys?
We're doing well, Chris. Been a while. What have you been up to?
Hey, buddy.
You know what? I got to be honest with you, bro. When I heard you guys were on after the game at 1 tomorrow, I was like, poor guys, man. They have to deal with this twice in less than 24 hours, man. Poor guys.
You wait till you see what I'm wearing. I got a hazmat suit I'm going to wear tomorrow.
Okay, listen. I got to go along the same vein. You know me, Jeff. I've been calling for a long time. We've been talking about the Blue Jays for a long time, okay? I'm going to take this from a topographical view, which is obviously along the same vein everybody else is, okay? If I'm ownership for the Toronto Blue Jays, I'm looking at the pitching staff and the defense he's put together, Atkins, obviously, and you have to give him a thumbs up, okay? There's a whole bunch, Berrios and Gosman and, bringing Kikuchi over, great, okay? So he deserves some stars there. But this is the question that I would love to hear the answer to because it kind of undoes the other one. I don't understand for the life of me how he could have thought that trading away Teo, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Gabriel Moreno, and now let's be straight, Gabriel Moreno, when he traded him away, was not the Gabriel Moreno who was hitting a bunch of home runs for Arizona, okay? But he was still, he was still touted as an athletic catcher who could make good contact. He had he would hit for a decent average, but he had power. Okay, so that's what was said about him coming up. So I don't understand how trading away those guys and putting a lineup with Springer, Bo, Vladdy, and then Varsho, because he traded for Varsho. Varsho was supposed to come back in the deal. He was supposed to get in there, and he was supposed to be obviously this left-handed bat who didn't hit for good average, but he had lots of power. I don't understand how, for the life of me, that's supposed to average 4.5 to 5 runs a game. Because if you look at baseball statistically, teams that average between 4.5 to 5 runs a game, they win a lot of games. Teams that average around 3.5 runs a game, they lose a crap ton of games, and it's only 1 to 1.25 runs. So I have to be honest with you, from a management perspective or an ownership perspective, I'd love to hear him explain that to me, and then fill it in with who? Kiermaier and Turner. I mean, God love Turner. Okay, great, but Turner and kind of Falefa and Witt, Witt and stuff like that, and Kevin Biggio. Sure, but I don't understand how those guys are going to give you 5 runs a game. I don't understand. Yeah. And then to answer your other question, I do not trust Ralph Atkins to rebuild my team. I'm sorry.
Chris, appreciate the call. Yeah, a lot there. We're right up against the clock here. I am going to say this. Kevin, I've come on and I've said, hey, at the time the Varsho deal was made, I said I could understand why it was being made. I'm not going to go back in that. I'm not the type of person that says I like a trade when it's made and then when it doesn't turn out, say it sucks. But I will say this. One of the things an organization is supposed to do is it's supposed to know its own players. They're supposed to know what they had in Gabriel Moreno. And they clearly either, 1, undervalued him, or 2, liked Alejandro Kirk better. To me, that's what it comes down to.
Jeff, I just don't understand why they threw in Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Okay. If you want to go straight up with the Varsho and the Moreno thing, absolutely.
Maybe Arizona
the Diamondbacks.
Maybe Arizona doesn't make the deal unless they get Gurriel.
Sounded to me like Lourdes is sort of a throw in. I just don't understand that part. You maneuver. You figure it out not to give up a guy who can hit good pitching. You can't give them up. You can't give all of them up.
Yeah.
1 or 2 of them, maybe. All of them.
Anyhow, we get to do it again tomorrow. 105 first pitch from Philly. Blue Jays Talk will be on following the game on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and Sportsnet. So 10-1. the Blue Jays lose to the Philadelphia Phillies tonight. Thank you for listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Elmwood and Owen Sound. I love Owen Sound. Protect your vehicle.
Major League Baseball play-by-play on SiriusXM.